Crystal night in San Francisco, California. Candlestick Park is the venue where tonight the San Francisco 49ers host the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football. Hello again, everyone. So glad you can join us. I'm Bob Papa. Welcome to Season 4 of Thursday Night Football here on NFL Network. And it is with great pleasure that I welcome in four-time Super Bowl champion and back into an NFL broadcast booth, my new partner, Matt Millen. Welcome, Matt.
It's a pleasure to be here on a tremendous football night. I'm really looking forward to it.
The second half of the season begins for the San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bears. The Niners got off to a 3-1 start, nearly 4-0, losing on a last-second play in Minnesota against the Vikings. They've dropped their last four in a row. The Chicago Bears have struggled in each of the last two of the last 3 weeks, losing badly to the Cincinnati Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals. So, Matt, what's the agenda heading into the second half of the season for these teams?
Well, I think it's real simple, and both of them adhere to this. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Both of them know they're better than they've played as of late, and they intend to prove it starting tonight.
Let's start with the Chicago Bears. They're led by quarterback Jay Cutler. That was the big story in the offseason. He needs to lead them.
And he does. And, you know, the good thing for Chicago is Jay Cutler is who they thought he was. He can make all the throws. They can lean on him if they have to, but he can't do it by himself. He's going to need some help. And so tonight, the running game has got to get going for the Chicago Bears, and that's going to be Matt Forte.
All right, let's go to the other side of the football. While the Bears have no questions at quarterback, San Francisco has turned back to Alex Smith at quarterback.
And to be real blunt, he's got to play better. Does he have the ability? Absolutely. Can he make the throws? Yes, he can. But he's got to prove it week in and week out. And again, he needs some help as well. So they're going to have to rely heavily on Frank Gore. Frank Gore, that's a good football player. Catches the ball well out of the backfield, has some good strength inside. They also have a young one outside, Michael Crabtree. That's a guy I'm excited to watch. But the bottom line with the 49ers is still going to come down to their young defense and a great one in the middle in Patrick Willis.
Well, the one thing we got from both teams in meeting with them yesterday, they are fired up about the team unity despite the struggles that they had. Patrick Willis trying to lead the defense, and the Chicago Bears come into this game as one.
I got your back. I know you got mine. Let's go out there today and make it about this defense. You heard me? Let's go. Hoorah! 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 Help us!
Thank you for watching the Lexus Pre-Kick Show, brought to you by the 2010 Lexus LS Line.
Two teams all year long. NFL Total Access, Monday through Saturday, only on NFL Network.
Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
Our guys are fired up about having the opportunity to play on prime time.
You know, it just brings a different type of atmosphere to the game. Night game, everybody waiting on 5 o'clock to come.
It's big for us. I just got to raise my level.
It's showtime.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
Well, the party's about to start in San Francisco as the fans continue to file into Candlestick Park. The San Francisco 49ers playing host to the Chicago Bears. Former Bear great Mike Singletary, in his first full season as head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. He feels that his team is headed in the right path, and he loves the athleticism of Alex Smith.
Yeah, and he's going to need it. And that's the thing with Alex Smith. You know, he has to really define who he is. And Mike Singletary has been one of those guys who's been trying to help him define who he is. Very positive guy, but holds everybody to accountability. That's the part that I like about it.
Said accountability and teaching is the key. I am a solution-oriented coach, and that's how we're going to get the best results. We're a good football team, believe it. Jay Cutler trying to get his team on track. They come in with a record of 4-4. Lovie Smith in his 6th season as head coach with 49 regular season wins. he feels there's some matchups that they can exploit in this football game.
Yeah, and he wants to try to get at them, obviously, very early. But Lovie Smith, the same kind of philosophy. He's a guy who believes in accountability, and he believes that his football team has to play physical.
Now, the 49ers won the coin toss, Matt, and they've elected to defer. So they'll kick the ball away with Joe Nedney getting ready to send it to Danielle Manning. Last time the Bears were on Thursday Night Football here on NFL Network, Manning in Chicago returned to kickoff for a touchdown against New Orleans. So they want the defense to set the tone, and Week 10 of the NFL season is underway. Manning from his own 3. Can't bounce off a tackle, will not even gain the 20-yard line. Jason Hill made the first hit, made the tackle for San Francisco.
Well, when you take a look at the Chicago Bears, you look right at that man first, Jay Cutler. They got him here in the offseason, and they needed him to be a guy that they could lean on. He's become that guy, but they need balance in this offense.
When we talked with Jay yesterday, he was excited, having lost the game on Sunday, to have a quick turnaround and get right back on the field. And remember, last year, on our first game of the season, while playing with Denver, he put on a show in Cleveland. They'll work out of a 2 tight end set on 1st and 10. Forte out of the backfield. Manny Lawson makes the tackle after a gain of 1.
You take a good look at this Chicago Bear offense, and we can talk about Matt Forte running the football, and you can talk about Jay Cutler throwing the football down the field and all that stuff. But the whole thing comes down to this. This is an offensive line that has to come together. This is a group that's going to have to pave the way for both those things to happen.
Olin Kreutz told us yesterday, the Pro Bowl center, it's getting close. Josh Beekman back in at left guard as the starter. Cutler under pressure from Lawson. The pass intended for Clark. Incomplete. Manny Lawson got a good push.
Got a good push and 2 straight plays, pressure on the quarterback by the San Francisco 49er defense. Now, when you look at this 49er defense, the first thing that jumps out at you is Patrick Willis, but, oh, there's more to it. They've got some good, young, down linemen, and they get after it. This is a physical group. This is one of the best front sevens I've seen this year.
And this is what Chicago said yesterday, a repeated theme. We want to stay out of these kind of third downs.
Exactly right.
3rd and long, 3rd and 8. 6 defensive backs in for the Niners. Cutler, Forte, hit by Willis, and dropped at the 22, and 3 and out for the Chicago Bears.
And a great series for the 49ers. So Mike Singletary says, okay, we're going to defer because I want my defense on the field to set the tone. And that's exactly what he got. He got 2 pressures first, and then he comes back. They try to set up the screen-ins or just a check down inside, and Patrick Willis finishes it off.
The Niners have not allowed a single point on the first possession of the game defensively this year. Veteran Brad Maynard in the punt. Brandon Jones from his own 37 gets hit and dropped as Corey Graham got the first hit on him. And then Tim Shaw, one of the special teams aces, finishes it off. So Alex Smith will make his 3rd consecutive start. He's lost his first 2. Alex was very relaxed yesterday when we had a chance to visit with him, Matt. Feels very comfortable in the offensive scheme that the Niners are now running, and he's been in a few since he's been here.
Yeah, he's had a bunch of different offensive coordinators, but he's also gone through a bunch of baloney. You know, he's been hurt, he's been benched, the worst is past, and I think there's a part of him that's able to now just relax and play.
Loves working with quarterbacks coach Mike Johnson. Says a lot of the terminology is similar to what Norv Turner had when he was here as offensive coordinator. From the 41, Frank Gore, the tailback. Smith to throw. Challenging to the outside for Crabtree, who makes a leaping catch. And let's see, they say out of bounds.
He was going to give him the catch. You saw the official there in the sideline, but he did not have control of the ball all the way through. And therefore, it's incomplete. Boy, this Crabtree, he's got it. You can see him on the top side just working on top against Tillman. He's running. Now, here's the difference. The difference when the ball's in the air, Crabtree will just go up and get it. Watch this. One-handed comes down, had feet in bounds, and then did not control it right there. Well done by Tillman.
Got to control it all the way to the ground for it to be a good catch. Mike Singletary has thrown his challenge flag, and Ron Winter, the referee, is going to come over and take a look at it.
Yeah, and what they'd want to look at here is at the end, was it pulled out? Was it pulled out by the defenders? So the receiver, Crabtree, could have had control all the way through, and then when they went to the ground, it was pulled out by the defender.
Michael Crabtree working on Peanut Tillman, made a heck of a catch. We'll review it. Mike Singletary has thrown the challenge flag on a pass from Michael Crabtree that initially the head linesman said good catch, and then they waved it off because the ball came loose. We're going to take a look at it again here. Matt working on Peanut Tillman.
Yeah, I want you to watch. His foot comes down. Crabtree's foot down right there. Now, does a shin hit first before the other foot? Ooh, boy, that's a close one.
It almost looks simultaneous.
Yeah, it almost does.
Now does he have control throughout the process?
Well, first of all, that's a phenomenal catch, okay? He's got it in his hands. He has control there. He's still controlling it. Now Tillman reaches in and yanks it out, and that's the question. What part determines whether it was complete control? First of all, are both feet in? That's the first decision.
Well,
and then,
but was that ball moving in that last look that we showed? We're going to take another look at it here from just out of bounds as he goes down and rolls because the ball moves.
There's an incomplete pass. San Francisco is charging the first team timeout. Second down. San Francisco.
Well, the officials communicated. The head linesman originally said good catch. The other official came in and said no. So the ruling, there was nothing necessarily conclusive there that you would say we have to overturn that.
But what was conclusive, though, what was definitive is that guy right there, Michael Crabtree. Just a rookie, but he's got it. He has an ability to go snatch the ball like that. He's got really quick hands, gets in and out of his breaks really well. He's exciting to watch.
25-yard gain. Potentially for Crabtree, ruled incomplete. Gore in the backfield with Smith. On a little slant, there's Crabtree again, inside the 45, and tackle the Chicago 44, gain of 15.
Just a simple throw. You're just going to go with the slant, just a simple two route outside. They're going to watch him. Michael Crabtree on the top side. Here it comes, right inside. A little bit of a rub. Get in the way of the outside defender. They're manning up, which you got to like that. And then, boy, they're not afraid to get to the rookie right away. And that just speaks to the maturity of the kid.
You know, Michael Crabtree was telling us how much Coach Jerry Sullivan has helped him every day, peppering him on just the small little things. And he feels that, listen, Jimmy Ray told us, the offensive coordinator, this guy's going to have a big game soon. Will it be tonight? Gore hit by Briggs and Hillenmeyer and Brown and brought down after a gain of a couple.
There's the professor, Jerry Sullivan. He's a wide receiver coach for San Francisco. He's been in the league a long time. He knows receivers. He's coached a lot of good ones. But he will just be relentless on Michael Crabtree. And Crabtree responds. Crabtree responds. Just looking on the flip side now. There's his big brother, Isaac Bruce.
Got an ankle injury, inactive for tonight's ball game. Says he's my big brother. He helps me out. I ask him questions all day long. Pretty smart by the kid. Gore runs into Nick Roach, short of the first down marker. At the 37-yard line, gain of 3 on the play for Frank Gore.
When you start talking about the Chicago Bear defense, you know, their recipe for success was always tough, physical defense. But there's a difference right now with this Bear team. And the difference is right down the middle of their defense, they're not as strong. When you lose Urlacher and Mike Brown from a couple years ago, and then Dvorak gets hurt, and pretty soon you just down the middle, not as strong. They've got to play better up front. Let those linebackers make some plays.
Starting safety Al Alfalava inactive for the ball game. 3rd and 2. Smith under pressure. Crabtree's got it. First down. There is a flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, we got a nice jump on the right side. It looked like Alex Brown may have jumped the count. But the bottom line, regardless whether he jumped it or not, he got pressure. And a good job by Alex Smith to buy time.
Defense. That penalties decline. The play results in a first down.
Yeah, it results in a first down because Alex Smith was able to use his mobility and get out, buy some time, and then find Crabtree. You're going to watch right over here. And he got a nice jump. Now watch him get away. Get away, keep his eyes down. Nice, accurate throw, and it's a big first down.
Mike Singletary told us yesterday one of the keys with Alex Smith is he brings a little bit more athleticism to the position, and it paid dividends right there. Gore in a one-back set on a 1st and 10. Smith with time. Vernon Davis runs out of a Nick Roach tackle and dumped at the 22-yard line, gain of 6. And Roach is hurt.
Roach just got run over. Vernon Davis is physically a freak. He's a genetic freak. And he can run. And he's physical. And he's just starting to hit what he's going to be. You watch him here, number 85. Just get back underneath. It's a Tampa 2. It's a cover 2. Underneath, here comes the backer. He just runs right through him.
Obviously, Vernon Davis this week took some shots at the defensive front of the Chicago Bears, and you heard it on the pregame. You've seen the film. Well, he put that on film, and it was pretty impressive.
You know why so many people love to fly south?
The drive started at their own 41-yard line. Nick Roach was able to leave under his own power. Jamar Williams in at linebacker for Chicago. 2nd and 4. Flag in the play as Gore dives to the 19-yard line. He got tripped up by Tommy Harris. But we'll check the flag. Preliminary call on the defense.
It looks like they lined up in a neutral zone.
So Nick Roach got shaken
Offside.
up.
Defense number 91. Lined up in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty that results in a 1st down.
Penalty on Tommy Harris. Nick Roach got shaken up, took a knee to the helmet, to the face mask from Vernon Davis. Davis's catch and run.
You see Tommy Harris in there, and he's got to elevate his game. Tommy Harris has all the ability to be one of the top 3 techniques or defensive tackles in this league. Last week, not very good, got thrown out of the game. Needs to play much better tonight, obviously.
Well, Lovie Smith says he owes us 2 games, and it looks like a false start against the offense this time.
False start. Offense number 85. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Vernon Davis called for the penalty. Mike Singletary really has been impressed with the way Vernon Davis has gone about his business this year, and really is starting to mature and take to the coaching and take to the philosophy of being a pro.
Yeah, the bottom line with Vernon Davis is he has skills, he has a great skill set and abilities, and he's a hard worker, and he's got to work himself into exactly what he's got to be.
1st and 15 from the 22. Gore inside the 15 and knocked down at the 14. Vernon Davis with a key block, gain of 8.
Yeah, well done by Vernon Davis. Doesn't get down in the 3-point stance, just kind of line it up, and then it just comes down. And this is the area of his game where he has worked very hard and has gotten better. You see, just taking a Gunlier down inside and gets that edge for Frank Gore. Now watch how you see how Gore finishes at the end, gets down, gets his pad level down, and drives through.
Delaney Walker in a slot left. Davis in motion on 2nd down. Smith slant. Crabtree dropped it. And there is the offensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy Ray, in his 33rd year in the National Football League.
Yeah, and Jimmy Ray has been around the league a long time, and he understands young players, and he understands how to get them integrated into the offense. And I'm impressed right now. He's not afraid to go to Michael Crabtree. That just tells you what kind of confidence the staff has in the rookie.
Crabtree has had the ball thrown to him 4 times so far for 2 catches. Davis in motion on 3rd and 7. Smith in trouble. And he's going to get dropped by Tommy Harris back at the 21-yard line. Gunlier got the initial pressure. Harris gets the sack.
Yeah, Gunlier came off the right side and forced it. Now, the bottom line with the Chicago Bears when it comes to pass defense, it all starts up front. It's got to be just pure pass rush. This time they dropped their 7. There's 4 guys rushing, and the 4 is able to get there and get the pressure.
Joe Nedney on to try A 39-yard field goal. Andy Lee to hold. Nedney 9 of 11 this season. Lee gets it down, and Nedney misses it right. So Joe Nedney misses his 3rd field goal of the year, and the Chicago Bears dodge a bullet. No score here in the first. Beautiful night in San Francisco. The city lit up perfectly, and so gorgeous. Join us on Thursday Night Football. Yeah, Matt Miller, great to have you here.
Coit Tower, right in the middle of San Francisco.
The defense for the Chicago Bears rises up, stops San Francisco on 3rd down. Then Nedney misses the field goal. Try to run it, nothing doing there as Takeo Spikes got a hit. Manny Lawson on Forte. Mike Singletary asking Joe Nedney what happened. Nedney had made 50 in a row. He's talking to the holder, Andy Lee. Nedney had made 50 in a row from 40 yards or less.
Yeah, that's one of those looks like, what the heck? He's only a kicker. All he's going to do is kick the stinking ball.
Special teams coordinator Al Everest said he missed it. Forte on a 2nd and 10. Picks up a yard. Lawson again on the tackle. Good start for Manny Lawson of San Francisco.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, not a good start for the Chicago Bear offensive line. You know, they have not, they're looking for some balance. They're looking for some balance, and they need Matt Forte to get going. And it starts up front. And they have 3 new guys up front in this offensive line. Crouch has been the guy who's been the leader the whole time. He's got Orlando Pace and Beekman and Williams at the right tackle, 3 new guys.
And just what Chicago said, we have to stay away from
exactly
3rd and longs. Losing on 1st and 2nd down, it's 3rd and 9. They failed on a 3rd and 8 on their first possession. Blitz on. Olsen in space. Stood up nicely and driven down. Great open field tackle made by the secondary of the San Francisco 49ers, and that's what you do with Greg Olsen. You don't let him run free.
No, because he can run. And a nice job again. 2 series for the 49ers on defense and 2 well-played series.
Mark Roman made the tackle. Brandon Jones awaiting the punt of Brad Maynard. So 2 3 and outs for Chicago. Maynard in his 13th year out of Ball State. Jones let it bounce at the last second, and it rolls inside the 20. I think the officials are going to rule that it was touched back at the 25-yard line. No score in the first. Cam is being presented by Southwest Airlines.
That looks more like it's part of San Francisco. They need to get that A straightened out.
The port is a part.
That's what it looks like.
Second possession for the 49ers in a scoreless first quarter. Nick Roach is back in for Chicago. He got shaken up in the last series. Morgan comes set. Gore finds the crease. Takes it up to the 30. Picks up 4 on the play.
You know, this Chicago Bear defense is kind of a little bit in transition. And they've gotten away from a lot of the cover 2 stuff, the soft zones on the outside, and they've really gone to a lot of man. Tonight, if you're looking at it with Crabtree, they're trying to get the ball. San Francisco's trying to get the ball to Crabtree. They're manning up a bunch here.
And Lance Briggs told us yesterday we've got to communicate much better as a defense. We're not communicating, and that's leading to a lot of breakdowns. Second and 6. No cutback lane for Gore that time. Adewale Aguilar made the first hit and the tackle.
Yeah, this Bear defense also knows that they need to get the running game going, and it's going to be Frank Gore. So what you do is you get an extra guy down there. And so this time they just drop their safety down, and they're giving you that 8-man look. Now they can do that when they're going to start to play a lot of man. You get the extra guy. They go that, or they would drop a safety down if they're going to play in a 3 deep. But they're playing a lot of single high safety. You can see right up top.
3rd and 6. Gore in the backfield with Smith. Jason Hill trying to run out of a tackle, and he's just near the first down marker. Might be about a half yard short as Charles Tillman made the tackle. Good play by Tillman in the open field.
Yeah, and a good tackle, but I want to show you what a lot of teams try to do in this league. Take a good look right here at the umpire. They're going to try to use him as an extra guy to get this defender off him. See how he tries to rub him off? Nicely done by the defender to trail him, and then a good tackle.
First look tonight at our coverage cam. As Alex Smith found Hill on the cross, Tillman made the tackle right near the first down marker. Close enough to measure.
Yeah, did you see how Tillman anticipated trying to get rubbed off by the umpire, so he went to trail. And then he got right on the top shoulder. That's really well done. He's able to make that tackle and set up this fourth down.
It's about the length of the football, which is 11.5 inches, and San Francisco will send out the punting unit.
Yeah, and if you're going to get the pass off, you got to have good protection. Now watch Frank Gore get right up in that A-gap right away as Heitman gets his right hand in, but well done by Gore, and the ball's able to come out.
Andy Lee in the punt for San Francisco. Devin Hester.
Well, if you watched the pregame, and you should have, you heard Deion Sanders talking about Devin Hester and his big play capability. He says he lives for fourth downs, and he's right. This is his time to shine right here.
Last year, as he transitioned to receiver on 32 returns, only averaged about 6.5 a return. Hester with room from his own 18. And great coverage that time by the 49ers. Arnaz Battle on the tackle. There is a flag on the play as well. 46-yard punt, 5-yard return, but we'll await the call of Ron Winter. Singletary was clapping.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 29 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
So Devin Hester only able to get 5. Great coverage for the 49ers. He's looking right that way. Instead, he goes to Desmond Clark underneath, and Willis able to make the tackle along with Michael Lewis for a short gain on the play up to about the 17-yard line.
You know, Bob, when you watch this Chicago Bear offense, the one thing that jumps off the screen to you is just how quick Cutler gets the ball out, and really halfway point of the season, how much more familiar he is now than he was at the start of the season. You're starting to see him relax and understand his guys around him.
Positive play on first down, 2nd and 3. Forte fights to the 20-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of the first down.
There's Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator for Chicago Bears, and he loves what he has in the quarterback spot. He also has been very pleased with the development of Devin Hester as a receiver, and that's another thing that stands out right away. You can see he's a lot more comfortable. He's not thinking. He gets in and out of his breaks better, and he also is in way more control than you used to see him a year ago.
Clark goes in motion. Forte in the eye. 3rd and 1. Forte has got the first down with forward progress to the 22-yard line. Patrick Willis got the first hit, but Chicago gets their first down with 2:25 to go here in the first quarter.
You heard about Patrick Willis, and you heard a lot of people talking about Patrick Willis. You know, again, on the pregame show, Marshall Faulk was raving about him, and with good reason. This guy right here is a Pro Bowler already, but he's not as good as he's going to be. He's still developing, and he is an active player.
Cutler for Hester threw it high as Terrell Brown was closing in on the little screen to Devin Hester. Get the ball in the hands, get it in space.
Yeah, get him in space. That guy with his ball, with the ball in his hands in space is dangerous. It's just like a punt return, and that's kind of what they're trying to do with him. But you know, we were talking a little bit earlier about Devin Hester, but a year ago it looked like he was trying to run his routes full speed all the time, and now he's under control. He knows how to vary his speeds and use his speed as a real weapon.
Bears have 21 yards on 10 plays here in the first. Cutler with time. Cutler, middle of the field, and he's got Olsen for a first down to the 38-yard line. Goldson on the tackle, gain of 16.
Nice protection. You're going to have Patrick Willis coming on a blitz off the right side, and he's sitting right down. Watch Forte. Much better job than it would have been done a year ago. Just steps up and allows Cutler to just slide a little bit to the left and make that bullet.
Chicago looking to pick up the pace a little bit after the pass play to Olsen and a first down. Forte squeezes through the hole, gets it up to the 40-yard line for a gain of 2 on the play.
You know, we talk about Patrick Willis and Takeo Spikes, the guys on the inside, the linebackers, but they cannot do their job unless you have a good nose tackle. And San Francisco has an excellent point man, Braille Franklin right there, number 92, playing very good football. You can't defend a spot without beginning with a point. He's a good point man.
Franklin in his 7th year out of Tennessee. Cutler with time. Olsen wide open. Steps out at the San Francisco 40-yard line. He lost the safety. Michael Lewis, gain of 20.
In talking to the Chicago Bears and Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator, he said last night that any time that he had a chance where he's going to get any of the safeties matched up in Olsen, he likes that chance. This time, it just looked like they just blew a coverage, because Olsen should not be left alone, whether it's a zone, certainly not man.
From the Niners 40. Cutler, Olsen again inside the 35 and tackled at the 33 by Lewis and Willis. So after a rocky start for Chicago and a missed field goal by San Francisco, no score, but the Chicago Bears and San Francisco 49ers in a pivotal NFC showdown, scoreless after 1. We start the second quarter, no score. Matt Millen, Chicago 3 and out in their first 2 possessions, but Jay Cutler heating things up with Olsen. He's got 3 of the 4 catches on this drive.
Yeah, so it looks like they're settling down, and what they've settled in on is they like their matchups with the tight end. Olsen, they talked about him the whole time. They like their matchups against linebackers and with the safety, and then also a little bit of Clark inside. So they're going to their tight ends to move the chains.
Jay Cutler 4 of 5 on this drive for 50 yards. Greg Olsen in his 3rd year out of Miami, a first-round draft pick in 2007, taken 31st overall.
Wayne, New Jersey guy. Wayne Hills High School, I believe.
Outstanding program in New Jersey. So we start the second. 2nd and 3 for Chicago. Forte bounces off the block, picks up 2. He's about a half-yard short of the first down. Abreu Franklin got the hit on him.
You know, San Francisco has great confidence in their front 7. And evidence of that is they'll stay in a 2-deep look a lot. They'll keep their safeties back. You're going to watch them. They're going to keep them. Both these guys, they'll keep them back here, and they're going to expect this group up front to handle the run game all by itself. And it does. And again, they got very active backers and a couple of real good down linemen.
3rd and short. Forte's got the first down. He needed the 30 and he got it. So the second 3rd and 1 conversion for Chicago. Remember their first possession, they had a 3rd and 8. Second possession, 3rd and 9. They get a couple 3rd and 1s. As Lovie Smith said, let's keep it manageable, keep run pass option in play.
And that's exactly this Chicago Bear offense. They want to get to 3rd and 5 or less. That's when they believe they're working at their peak. When they can do that, they can be the most efficient.
Olsen comes in motion and gets set. Cutler with time for Olsen along the sideline, incomplete. Terrell Brown on the coverage.
Yeah, he caught the ball, but he did not get both feet and wasn't even close. A nice job by the officials. Now, we said a little earlier about, you know, they're going to move the chains, and they've been doing it with their tight ends. Olsen's a guy who's got very good speed. Number 1 pick, just going to try to run up that side. Terrell Brown, number 25, is right on top of him. But he's still going to keep feeding it to him. The big kid who does a good job of attacking the football.
Johnny Knox comes in, the rookie out of Abilene Christian, to the top of your screen at wide receiver for Chicago. Forte with a hole, spins off the tackle. Forte inside the 20 and tackle from behind inside the 15-yard line. Longest run of the ball game.
Yeah, well done up front by the Chicago Bears. And then once Matt Forte gets to the second level right here, finishes with a spin, that's where he makes his money. Excellent vision, has very, very good feel. Watch his feet in the hole right here. Keeps him going. Good balance. Well done.
Gain of 16 on the play. Forte, not much there. Abreu Franklin and Justin Smith stuck their nose in there right away.
We get down here in the red zone, and this is where this Bear team really likes Olsen. But it changes because now the field is compressed. It's shorter. The angles change. The defenders can break on things faster. Your angle for the ball coming out changes. So there's a lot of things inside that change in the passing game here inside this red zone.
Olsen with 6 touchdown catches on the season, 3 last week.
Going empty
against Arizona.
Yep. Forte outside.
Cutler with time. Cutler to Earl Bennett. Takes it to the 5, gain of 9.
Now, Earl Bennett is a guy that Jay Cutler has a lot of confidence with. And he, interestingly, he really likes him on inside routes. And you're going to see Bennett, he just comes down, kind of takes his time, and then a little burst, and the ball is right on top.
Vanderbilt to Vanderbilt. 3rd and 1, and Cutler keeps it, and that is 3 3rd and 1 conversions now for Chicago. Jay Cutler used that 233-pound frame. Lovie Smith really positive with the way this game is starting to unfold. They're running the ball a little bit. Jay Cutler has really struggled in the red zone with 6 red zone interceptions in the last 13 games. Tom Brady has 6 interceptions in his career in the red zone.
Hate when that happens.
First and goal. Forte. Maybe a yard. Spike's got the first hit. Rest of the defense converges. A little hesitation there from Forte.
Well, it closed. It was going to be a trap to the left side and shut down real fast. And so he redirected right at the point. But this is where you have to win this thing in the trenches. And that obviously comes down to the offensive defensive line. But, one of the trends that you've seen, there's not a lot of good short yards and goal line running. And I think part of that reason is because the proliferation of the shotgun. You don't get down in the stance all the time and come off the ball with low pad level.
2nd and goal, Forte again. Not much there. Takes it inside the 2. It'll be 3rd and goal from about a 1.5 yards out.
Well done by Abreu Franklin on the inside. Just stuffing up the middle. Now, if you're San Francisco, if you're the Chicago Bears right now, what you want to be able to do is give Jay Cutler an option. Get him out on the edge. Let him stretch the field a little bit. He can throw to the back of the end zone. There's somebody back underneath.
They bring Kevin Schaefer in as a tackle eligible. He's lined up to the left of the line. 3rd and goal, 1.5 yards for Chicago. Cutler with time, intercepted. Abreu Franklin. Talked about him being the man in the middle. That time he was the man with the hands. And another red zone pick for Cutler.
Jay Cutler throws the pick because he tries to force it into a real tight window. And that window is closed by Abreu Franklin.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC. Hey, Mac.
18-play, 88-yard drive, 9 minutes and 6 seconds, ends in a Jay Cutler interception, his 4th red zone pick of the year, his 7th in the last 13 games, his 13th interception of the season. Abreu Franklin with the pick. So both teams have missed chances to score. San Francisco missing a field goal, and Cutler throwing the pick. Smith.
It's on Smith.
Under siege and is going to get sacked back at the 5-yard line.
That one's on Smith. So let's go back to the interception. I want you to see this. They go play action. They're going to try to hit it up top to Clark. That is covered. He comes back inside to Kellen Davis. Now, he may have thought there was one guy open. There were 3 guys, and it's a pick. And you can see in Mike Singletary's eyes how happy he was for Abreu Franklin to come up with that.
He's left scratching his head as to the decision to throw it in that traffic. Marcus Harrison on the last play got a sack for Chicago, and Vernon Davis went a little bit early. He started out of his stance a little too quickly.
False start. Offense number 85. Half the distance to the goal. Remains second down.
Second penalty on Vernon Davis and a false start.
You know, I said earlier on the previous down that was on Alex Smith. They went man. He had the slant wide open, and he waited on it. He was looking at it, and he just waited on it, and then the pocket collapsed. One of the things you see of him on tape is sometimes he doesn't anticipate very well. He waits to see things. He can't do that. There has to be better anticipation.
Second and 18. Morgan got a block, takes it out to about the 14-yard line. Gain of 11 on the play. Jay Cutler just kind of shaking his head right now. He knows.
Yeah, and he knows exactly, and he knows what he was looking at, and he knows what he was trying to force it into that small window. Like we said, it was closed by Abreu Franklin, but some of that stuff, you know, you know your arm, you know your strength, and you take a chance. And we talked about that to him yesterday. He knows he has to limit, especially early, he has to limit taking those chances.
3rd and 7, Walker in motion. Smith, Gore needs a block. Gore gets it. Gore has a first down to the 23, gain of 8.
And did you see how Frank Gore finished that run? He knew where the first down marker was, and he knew he was going to have to finish the thing with power. And so he gets down behind his pads and runs right through it. You see Smith, he's buying time, now dumps it off underneath. Now watch Gore at the end. Just finish, head down, runs through his pads. Well done.
San Francisco wiggles himself out of a little danger, gets himself a fresh set of downs.
That's a big first down right there.
Nothing to say for Jay Cutler after that. Smith to Gore. Good awareness by Smith to find the open man, gain of 9.
Now this is where Alex Smith is most comfortable. He's most comfortable in the shotgun. He sees the field better, makes better decisions from back there. And you know, the thing about him is he moves around pretty well. He's, you know, you look at him, he's a big kind of angular kid, kind of tall, but he moves around pretty well.
That's what he was most comfortable doing from his college days.
Exactly.
Always being in the shotgun. 2nd and 1. Gore right near the first down marker. It'll depend on the spot.
You know, Alex Smith, we were talking about him and just what kind of guy he is. And he's one of those guys who wants to know everything. A very bright guy, but he wants to know where everybody is on the field. He likes precision. And one of the things that hurts him a little bit is the improvisation. When things break down and they're not where they need to be, that's where he struggles a little bit, and he readily admits it.
He admitted it. His offensive coordinator, Jimmy Ray, admitted it. Sometimes he overthinks situations. And Mike Singletary pulled him aside after last week and said, listen, just go play football.
Yeah, stop your thinking. What's wrong with you?
Gore picked up the first down. Smith's pass is deflected and nearly intercepted by Nick Roach. Fine play by Roach, who got shaken up earlier in the ballgame.
Yeah, and he shook those cobwebs off fast. Well done by Roach. He's going to come off that right side. Right here, you're going to see him. And does a good job, good awareness. Get your hands up, try to deflect if you can, but get in the way, and almost comes up with a great play.
Smith knew that Vernon Davis was the hot with Roach blitzing, and Roach just made a good play. Second and 10 for the 49ers. 5:32 to go in a scoreless half. Gore hit by Briggs at the 37-yard line after a gain of 4.
You know what you're seeing right now of the Chicago Bears, which I got to be frank with you, you haven't seen a lot of in the National Football League this year, but good tackling. Right now you're seeing good tackling out of this Chicago Bear defense. Lance Briggs is a good tackler. And we talked about it last night with him, with Lance Briggs. You know, he just said we did not tackle well last week. And if you're going to do that, you better bring everything with you. And you better be able to see it with those eyes, diagnose it fast, and get to the ball.
He's channeling a little Mike Singletary there in the middle with those big eyes.
It's a good look.
3rd and 6 for the Niners. Smith to the middle. Morgan first down to the 45. Well, you know, we talked so much about Alex Smith wanting to work the outsides as he did last week. This time he goes inside to Morgan.
Yeah, this is really well done by Alex Smith because they came out with their set. And then from their set, you see the defense was checking, and you saw that. Now watch the patience. He has the patience. He has Vernon Davis coming to the outside, and then Morgan breaks to the inside, and the ball's right where it has to be. That time, well done with anticipation.
So first down to Morgan from the San Francisco 46. Smith looking for the home run to Crabtree, and it's intercepted at the 19-yard line. Zachary Bowman on the pick, his 3rd of the season. Well, they were trying to hit the home run, but instead, it's a strikeout for Alex Smith.
Light beer, and then there's triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Tastes greatness. And by Hanes, no ride-up boxer briefs and no gap fly boxer.
Matt, you can handle all that seafood, couldn't you?
I'm getting hungry looking at it.
Alex Smith starving for a touchdown pass, instead picked off on the pass intended for Crabtree. So both quarterbacks have thrown interceptions here in a scoreless first half. And a false start against the Chicago Bears.
False start. Offense number 23.
Devin Hester called for the
5-yard penalty.
Let's take a good look at that interception. This is straight cover 3 and well done. He knows, this is Zach Bowman outside. He knows that he has safety help on the inside, and he also is going to get his underneath coverage out of his linebackers. So you hold the outside. Hold the outside. Nicely done. And now play the ball through the receiver. And held perfect position. Good discipline. Comes up with the pick.
Forte and a 1st and 10. Flag on the play as he takes it out to the 21-yard line. It's a gain of 7. So we'll check the flag again. And it's going to be holding against the Chicago Bears.
Holding. Offense number 23. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Devin Hester gets called for a false start and a hold.
Yeah, he got him pretty good, too. You're going to see him. He just kind of grabs him and gives him a yank. Watch. Here's Spencer right there. He just on the top of the pads and throws him down. If you're going to hold, you got to be a little bit more subtle than that.
So they spot the ball back at the 10-yard line as Hester goes out of the ball game. 1st and 19 for Chicago. 2 tight ends, McKee the fullback, Forte the tailback. Cutler to throw. Forte to the sideline. Knocked out of bounds by Michael Lewis at the 14-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. Well, catch NFL Replay for exclusive re-airs of the weekend's 4 best games. It's the best way to look back at some of the great action in the NFL every week, enhanced with wired sound and more non-stop action. No halftime. NFL Replay Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 8 and 9:30 Eastern on NFL Network. Great way to relive Sunday during the middle of the week.
Doesn't get any better than that. That's some good stuff.
2nd and 15, screen. Forte with a nice catch. runs out of a tackle, and Room picks up the block. Forte to midfield, and then finally Goldson brings him down at the 49-yard line of San Francisco, gain of 37.
Well, the whole thing's not going to happen unless he gets one quick block on the front end. See, Takeo Spikes is down. This is going to be a screen set up here. And now I want you to watch Olin Kreutz, number 57, right there. That's the key.
And then the longest reception of Forte's career as Chicago driving again. Challenge fantasy game presented by Gillette is back. Pick one player in each of the 8 NFL Network games. You can win a trip to kickoff. Sign up today at NFL.com/fantasy. Adrian Peterson in for Chicago after Forte's 37-yard catch and run. Cutler with time. Receiver slip. Intercepted by Terrell Brown. Brown picks up the block. Needs another. Gets it. Inside the 15. And it'll be first and goal, San Francisco. Devin Hester slipped. Terrell Brown gets his first pick of the year. Playing for the injured Nate Clements.
He gets himself a nice pick, and this is all on Devin Hester because the anticipation is there, the ball is going to be there, and Devin Hester is not there. And the reason is right there, right there. He plants that inside foot and slips, and Brown takes it and does a really nice job. And you talked about it, need an extra block. That was a nice block right there by Goldson, and then he's knocked out, and it's first and goal.
Jay Cutler, his open game right there. He took a shot.
And he gets right back up, and he eventually is the one who pushes him out of bounds. So good hustle by Cutler.
From the 14, Gore with room. Gore, touchdown Niners. His 6th rushing touchdown of the year. It goes from 14 yards out, and San Francisco's on the board.
And he gets by with a little help from his friends. This time it's David Boss, the left guard. Nice job, good at the point, and then he gets to the second level. Watch David Boss right here, number 64. Watch the pull. Boom, right inside. Really well done on Harrison. And then Gore, next level, and it's 6 quick.
The 51-yard interception return by Terrell Brown set it up. Gore with a touchdown run, his 6th of the season. Nedney's extra point right down the middle. So with 2:03 to go in the first half, it's San Francisco on the board. Davis and Gore having a party. The Terrell Brown pick set it all up.
Vehicle of the NFL. And by Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network.
One of the most photographed visions in all the country, the Golden Gate Bridge. And Jay Cutler, 2 interceptions in his last 4 passes. The Brown 51-yard return sets up the Frank Gore 14-yard touchdown run. And San Francisco with a 7-0 lead with 2:03 to go in the half. Danielle Manning from his own 2. Does not even make the 20-yard line. So Jay Cutler will try again. Devin Hester lost his footing. Things not going the Bears' way here in the first half in San Francisco.
Against Chicago.
Offensive line did a nice job of picking up all blitzers.
Protecting the quarterback. Brought to you by the new Warner Brothers movie, The Blind Side, starring Sandra Bullock. In theaters November 20th.
San Francisco. Terrell Brown's 51-yard interception return set up San Francisco, and Alex Smith did the smart thing and handed it right to Frank Gore, who ran it in for a touchdown. Jay Cutler has been picked off twice, once by Abreu Franklin on a 3rd and goal at the 1 in the end zone. From their own 17. Cutler nearly intercepted again. Shante Spencer sat on the route and nearly had the pick.
Yeah, he almost did. You know, this is really a good job in coverage. This is a well-done job by Greg Minuski, the defensive coordinator, of trying to hide some things. And they're going to run this thing out. Watch the anticipation right here. He read that route perfectly and jumped on it, and it was almost a 6 quick. There's Greg Minuski, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania native.
Love catching up with you. Forte. Knocked down. Good open field tackle by the safety, Deshaun Goldson. Gain of 2.
Yeah, just looking at this thing with what Greg Minuski's doing there, he likes to play a lot of zone because he knows he's a little weak in the secondary. And so he does a little bit of disguising. He'll give you a lot of cover 2, but he'll play quarters out of it. Every now and then he'll jump in man, but not very often. He likes to play the zones and let his front 7 take care of the run game.
Surprised San Francisco didn't use one of their timeouts here on a 3rd and 8.
Under 2 minutes, yeah, absolutely.
Under pressure, Forte has a 1st down to the 31-yard line. With under 1 minute to go here in the first half. Coming up next, the Sprint halftime show. Stay tuned for Rich Eisen and Deion Sanders in studio. Michael Irvin and Chad Ochocinco. Don't want to miss that interview. Little no huddle. Cutler, middle of the field. Earl Bennett's got a 1st down. And he gets tackled at the 48-yard line. And Chicago will use a timeout with 37 seconds to go in the half. Trey Bly on the tackle. So Jay Cutler's thrown a couple of picks. Lovie Smith wants to see some points here at the end of the first half. Jay Cutler's thrown 2 interceptions, 37 seconds to go in the half. The Niners with a 7-0 lead. The last time the Bears were shut out in the first half of the game, week 14 of the 2007 season at Washington. Tight to the bottom of your screen. Cutler's pass batted at the line of scrimmage. Ahmad Brooks got a hand on it. They were very enthusiastic about Ahmad Brooks and what he could potentially be for them.
Well, I remember him coming out of college, and everybody was excited about him. He's probably their most natural pass rusher that they have. That time he just comes back inside, forces the inside, gets his hands up, obviously, and knocks that thing down. This guy here, he's got pass rushing ability, and you can't be a good outside rusher if you don't take the inside, and he understands taking the inside.
Second and 10. Bears with 2 timeouts remaining and a delay of game. The back judge threw the flag, crossed his arms, Matt, and you know what that means right there.
Remains 2nd down.
That's poor clock management there by the quarterback. And you heard us talking about it in the front end of this, and he is the field general, and he's the guy who's in control, and so he's the one on the field who's got to be in complete control. That time he just lost it.
Especially coming off an incomplete pass.
Yeah,
It sounds as if you're hurrying up with plays coming in. You have time.
Yeah, a lot of look here out of Minuski's defense.
Bears with 2 timeouts remaining. Johnny Knox makes his first catch and gets out of bounds.
Good job
Trey
by
Bly
Knox.
missed the tackle that would have kept him in bounds and forced Chicago to use the timeout.
And so Minuski this time dials up a 3 deep, 5 under, rushes 3. And so he's trying to flood the whole zones underneath. And Knox does a good job, as does Cutler, and able to get the ball to him. But Knox does a good job of making the miss and then get outside. Right there, he throws it back underneath, and then Trey Bly, he just runs away from it. Knox has great speed, incidentally.
Saves Chicago a timeout. Cutler on a 3rd and 4. Olsen
Dragged down by Mark Roman. He's got a first down. Chicago will burn another timeout with 20 seconds. They have one remaining.
And so with one timeout remaining, Cutler can still use the whole field. Doesn't have to worry about going on the perimeter. He can take a shot in the middle and still come down there. He needs to get about 15 yards to take a good kick.
Well, we'll take a look at Jay Cutler so far in this ball game, and after a really impressive drive in which they had it down at the 1 on 3rd and goal at the 1, he throws it right to Abreu Franklin. This one, Devin Hester slips, and Terrell Brown gets the interception.
Now you can't fault him on the second one because that looked like it was going to be a completion, or at least had a chance to Hester. But that first one, I don't know what he was looking at there.
Robbie Gould's long field goal this season, 52 yards against Detroit in Chicago.
Everybody's standing up.
Cutler buys time with his legs for Hester. Can't squeeze it into double coverage. Goldson and Spencer on the coverage.
Yeah, they rushed 4. And I want you to take a look at this. This is what they're trying to do, is they're trying to get you to try to guess at who's going to come. Look at all these guys up front. They're all standing up. You don't know who's going to come, who is or who isn't. They'll bring linebackers up. They have all of them standing. And then you have to determine your protection. And then he tries to take a shot down the field over the top of Hester's head.
2nd and 10 with 14 seconds. Chicago has the 1 timeout remaining. Cutler, as Spencer ran into Earl Bennett. They're going to get Spencer for getting there too early.
It's just going to give him a first down with 9 seconds. He has 1. He can take one more
Pass
play.
interference. Defense number 36. Penalizing the spot of the foul and a first down.
Yeah. You're going to see he's going to get there before the ball does. But they have one more shot here. They have 9 seconds. You got one more play. You can call a timeout and then try to kick a field goal.
Because from here it would be a 53-yarder. Gold hit on the 52-yarder earlier this year, his career long.
So he can use the whole field here. So he doesn't have to take a shot deep or anything.
You want your tight end here, Olsen?
Probably anything. It looks like you're getting 4 across the top here, and it's underneath the 2.
Hester's got it and gets out of bounds at the 27-yard line with 6 seconds to go in the half.
Now you got to kick it.
And they'll send out the field goal unit with only 6 seconds to go. So this will be about a 45-yard field goal attempt. Let's see where Brad Maynard will set the mark for Gold, right at the 35-yard line. Veteran combination. Trying to get Chicago on the board here in the final seconds of the first half. Maynard set. Manley with the snap. And Gold's kick is through, but a timeout was called. They called a delay of game. The back judge.
I don't see a flag there.
Delay of game. Offense.
That's
5-yard penalty.
Inexcusable right there. That's 2
Remain second down.
delay of game calls. Yeah, you can see the clock ran down.
Take a look.
This is the game clock. Here's the play clock. Yeah, it ran out. Well, that's inexcusable. You can't do that, especially when you have a timeout in your pocket.
2 delay game penalties on this drive, so now that makes it a 50-yard field goal for Gold.
Well, anybody can make the 45. They want to try to see if they can do this 50.
Snap is good. Kick on its way. It's got plenty of leg, and Robbie Gold connects from 50.
That's a good kicker. Where's he from?
Penn State.
Oh, he's a good kicker.
So with 2 seconds to go, Robbie Gold able to knock it through from 50 after the delay of game penalty on Chicago.
Yeah, they're just making it hard themselves. They've done it the whole first half. They've come out with two picks, a couple of penalties, and they're still right in the middle of this football game. They've not played their best, and they're still in the middle of it.
Jay watches it go through, says, okay. Mike Singletary gave up some points. The Bears have over 200 yards of offense so far, but only 3 points. The interceptions, obviously, the difference, including one in a 3rd and goal at the 1. Alex Smith and the Niners have just under 100 yards of offense, but the Terrell Brown 51-yard interception return, obviously key.
Well, one thing you can see from a week ago, this Chicago Bear defense is a different defense right now than it was just 7 days, or not, just 4 days ago, when they were torched for five touchdowns. Of course, you don't have Kurt Warner throwing the ball.
Robbie Gould bangs it on the ground. One of the up men takes a knee. Penchwan Balmer took a knee, and that's the end of the first half here in San Francisco. Frank Gore has the touchdown. Jay Cutler's thrown a couple of interceptions. At the end of the first half, the 49ers leading the Chicago Bears by a 7-3 score as both teams head to the locker room. The Sprint halftime show coming up after this break on NFL Network. Forte has 93 total yards in the ball game. A bulk of that came in a long reception, catch and run. Alex Smith, 8 of 12, 72 yards a pick. Frank Gore, 39 yards rushing, including a 14-yard touchdown. As we welcome you back to our Thursday night football booth, Bob Popple along with Matt Millen, and you take a look at, kind of where this first half transpired and big mistakes made, especially by the Bears, with Jay Cutler in the second quarter throwing an interception when Chicago had a 3rd and goal at the 1.
Yeah, I think the big one was the first one. I mean, the second one you couldn't really do much about. And Hester tried to make a cut off his inside foot and fell down, and that went back the other way. But they had their opportunity to punch it in, and just an awful decision by Jay Cutler. But they haven't been able to run the football. So I would expect here in the second half that you're going to get a lot more of Jay Cutler in his arm.
With that all said, I mean, Chicago's down by 4 as we start the 3rd quarter. Now, San Francisco had won the opening coin toss, and they deferred to the second half. Arnaz Battle back deep for the 49ers, along with Michael Robinson as the protector. Robbie Gould gets the second half under the way. Battle from his own 6. Battle out across the 30, and a flag comes flying in. So hold that return in good field position for the 49ers. Jamar Williams made the tackle for Chicago. Once again, Ron Winter.
During the return, holding number 26 the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Mark Roman called for the penalty.
I'm sorry about that, Bobby, but I think if you're a fan of the Chicago Bears right here, you have to like the way their defense played. Defensively, they did some good things. They didn't give up much yardage. They gave up the 14-yard run after the touchdown, but they've been holding the San Francisco offense in trap or in check now.
We saw Crabtree early.
Right.
Alex Smith tried to force one through it to the outside when Crabtree had inside position, got picked off. Let's see if they go back to him a little bit. Gore on first down run, hit by Hunter Hillenmeyer. Tackled after a gain of a couple. 3 yards on the pickup.
If you go back to what Mike Singletary, the head coach, said, he wanted to be at the very beginning of the year. He wanted to be physical. He wanted to have a good running game, and he wanted to play physical defense. And so now here you are. You're up 7-3. It's going to be one of them games. It's going to be a slugfest. And so they need to get Frank Gore running the football here in the second half.
Gore 8 carries for 39 yards so far. Morgan in motion. Feed it to Gore again, and Tommy Harris drops him for a loss of a couple.
That was really well done by Tommy Harris. He just had a nice quick inside move. He jumped around the guard, and boy, he was right in the middle of the backfield. You're going to watch him right there, number 91. See how he took that right against Boss. Boss got a little top heavy. He just used him against him. Took his momentum, jumped over the top of it, back in the backfield. Ooh, I like that. That's good stuff. Yes, it is. That's what he's capable of. When he's on, he makes a lot of those plays.
Kicked out last week after the 4th play of the game. So 3rd and long for the Niners. Crabtree gets one block, but then Briggs cuts him down after a gain of 5. And San Francisco goes 3 and out.
And a good series by the Chicago Bears defensively. And they got him. They get off the field. That's what they wanted to be able to do. And Tommy Harris spearheaded that one. That's a big play there on second down.
Devin Hester back to receive Andy Lee's punt. Lee bounds at the 35 and rolls out at the 36-yard line of Chicago. 39-yard punt, no return for Hester. There is a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Bob, there are 3 rules of the kicking game. Don't be offsides, don't rough the kicker, and don't let the ball hit the ground. It's twice now I've seen the ball hit the ground. As a returner, you can't do that.
During the return, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 46 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Delaney Walker called for the penalty and a personal foul. So Lovie Smith and the Bears will have great position to start their first drive of the third quarter, down by 4. Chicago Bears will start at the Niner 49-yard line as you get a look at Candlestick Park, San Francisco and Chicago. With the Niners leading 7-3 here in the third. Takeo Spike's hamstring injury, not expected to return. Devin Hester in space, and he gets cut down after a gain of about 8. Matt Wilhelm on the tackle. He's in for Spikes. Well, this is what Chicago did in bringing in Jay Cutler, needing him to sort of use his arm. They're not running the ball well. Try to lead this team into the postseason. They haven't had a marquee quarterback like Cutler in years.
Yeah, and this is why they brought him here. And you know what I like about Jay Cutler? The game doesn't get too big for him. And he's still going to take some shots with that arm of his. He has good confidence in it.
Manny Lawson shuts down Matt Forte, and he'll lose 2 on the play. The longest current quarterback streaks. His last Pro Bowl, Jim McMahon, Dan Marino, Greg Landry. You take a look at what Jay Cutler wants to deliver. When you take a look at franchises that haven't had the Pro Bowl quarterback, Cutler is the guy they're counting on.
Yeah, and does he have those abilities? Absolutely, he has those abilities. Can he make big plays? Yeah, he can. But here's the bottom line: very few guys in this league can do it all by themselves. They need some help. So until they get a little more balance, if you're just going to come out and just start throwing, 50 times a game, week in, week out, that's tough.
It's been a revolving door in Chicago.
Since Pro Bowler Jim McMahon in '85, the Bears have trotted out more pigskin chuckers than any other team. 28, in fact. Who could forget such stellar starters as Tom Zach Fuller, the Petit Doug Flutie, Honesty, Bradley Harbour, Peter Tom Willis, who had as many starts as names. Then this Fuhrer, lefty who left the morning more, Kramer, Walsh, Craig, Meyer, Stenson, Moreno, Matthews, McNown, Miller, Chandler, Burris, Stewart, Grossman, Quinn, Krenzel, Hutchinson, who should have stuck with baseball, Greasy, and Orton. Now Chicago has another Pro Bowler on board, Jay Cutler, and he may just be the guy to finally quell the quarterback quandary that has plagued the Bears for decades.
That's easy for him to say.
You gotta love Hutchinson stuck with baseball.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Oh, that was funny. Manny Lawson got shaken up on the play for the 49ers. Cutler 16 of 24, 172 yards, and 2 interceptions. 3rd and 4 for Chicago. 6 defensive backs in for the 49ers. Well, Bennett comes set, top of the screen. Cutler under pressure, intercepted by Goldson. Tried to check down to Adrian Peterson, and Cutler's been picked off for the 3rd time.
Tried to force it again. Had some pressure, just tried to jump it underneath, and Goldson was there.
Matt, what about the pressure, though?
Yeah, he had some pressure, but he steps up inside. He just jumps up. That's an awful throw.
Welcome to the Now Network, population 49 million. Right now, 1.2 million people are on Sprint mobile broadband. 31 are streaming a sales conference from the road. 154 are tracking shipments on a train. 33 are IMing on a ferry. And 1,300 are secretly checking email on a vacation. That's happening now. America's most dependable 3G network, bringing you the first and only wireless 4G network. Right now, get a free
picks in his last 14 throws here in San Francisco. He now has 15 interceptions on the season in only his 9th game. They give it to Gore, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Well, I had to apologize to Jay Cutler. I want you to watch the umpire right there. Remember we showed you earlier in how they were trying to run picks off the umpire? Well, this guy is instructed when there's a pass to gain ground. And he tries to gain ground right there. But he just bumps into Hester, and Hester doesn't finish his route all the way through. And he just throws it over. It would have been a completion. He said, what am I going to do? Guy, you know, he knocked into him. Intercepted.
And it's going bad. It's going bad. 2nd and 10 for Smith and the Niners. Checks down to Gore, and Gore's going to lose a couple. Charles Tillman was there to make it a loss of 2.
And that's good coverage by the Chicago Bears. You could see how he was trying to look down the field first, waiting for it to develop, and it wasn't there, and then he hit his outlet, and they did a good job of converging, going from deep to short to shut that thing down.
You know, and this is one of the things Lovie Smith talked about his team, you know, fighting through the bad plays, being mentally strong as a team, sort of the same theme as Mike Singletary, but you throw the interception, now go out and play good defense and get the ball back.
Exactly right.
Gore and Michael Robinson in. 3rd and 12. Smith had his arm hit, flag on the play, and intercepted. Lance Briggs got the pick off the deflected ball, but we'll check the flag.
Looked like Israel Adonijay, the guy
outside, defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. Repeats their down.
And Awale Ogunleye has just taken that pick for Lance Briggs off the board.
Yeah, that's a nice effort by Adonijay, just getting his hand in and knowing where the launch point for that ball is. You know, watch him just reading inside. And here's the pick. Unfortunately, all this goes for naught. And they bring it back on the penalty.
Well, the recipe for losing in this league, every coach will tell you the same thing. Turnovers and penalties. 7th penalty against the Bears. Plus Cutler's thrown 3 picks.
Don't beat yourself.
3rd and 7, draw for Gore. Gore squeezes through the hole. Looks like his knee is going to be about a half-yard short. Need to gain the 45-yard line of Chicago, and they're going to mark him down just short of that. Ron Winter will call for a measurement. The yellow line is unofficial, but looking at the first down markers, it's right on the 45-yard line.
It's unofficial, but it's pretty darn close. You know, the best thing a defense can do after a turnover is go in there and get a 3 and out and get the ball right back through. I mean, when you do that, you've done a good job defensively. And they did that, and then they went ahead and had the penalty and had to go for a 4 downs here.
So Ron Winters called for a measurement. And Gore is going to be about the length of a football short. That's 11.5 inches, Matt.
For those who are interested.
So do you go for it here, or you try to draw him off the outside? Chicago's jumped a couple times. Use a hard count, see if you can get him to jump. A little over anxious.
No, if I'm Mike Singletary, I just want to just be tough and just go. We're going to be. We say we're a physical team. Let's go be a physical team. Incidentally, a football should be 12 inches long because it's a football. Thank you very much.
Gotta look at the rule book.
Yeah, exactly.
4th and less than 1. Smith's going to keep it. And I don't know if he got there.
I don't think he did. Look at the official coming in. Watch where the foot goes. No, he's short. He's short. Did not get it.
Lance Briggs filled the hole and came flying in from his linebacker spot. And that defensive line got a great push.
See right there, that official has that foot. That's where the tip of that ball goes, and that's going to be short. Remember last time they brought it out, the chain went to the middle of the 45. This is just a good job. Watch the low. Low man wins. Good job inside. They get the push. The defense gets the push.
Tommy Harris.
Tommy Harris right there. Well done. Harrison on the other side. This is going to be short. This is going to be Chicago's ball.
By half a football. That would be 6 inches. So Jay Cutler gets another chance. Niners lead it by 4 here in the third. To Matt Forte. He's got Beekman out in front. Gets a block from Beekman inside the 30. And down at the 23-yard line. Gain of 31 for Forte.
Well, Jay Cutler has tried to push the ball down the field a few times, but what's been his best friend tonight has been the screen. And so what they do is they allow the rush to come, and then they just dump it over the top. He draws it in, and it's really well done. Like you said, Beekman with the push right there. And then to the outside goes Forte and picks up a big first down.
First and 10, Hester on the run. Lawson chases him down after being shaken up on the last series. Holds it to a gain of 2.
That's a heck of a play by Manny Lawson right there. That's no slouch. He just ran down from inside out. He reads it really well and then gets on his horse, takes a very good angle, and knocks him down. Great effort right there by Manny Lawson.
Manny Lawson in his 4th year out of North Carolina State.
Look, he's got to chase that top shoulder.
Forte shut down. Matt Wilhelm on the tackle. Remember, Takeo Spikes with a hamstring injury out of the game. Wilhelm started 7 games last year for San Diego. Good veteran pickup by the 49ers.
Yeah, the Ohio State, they tried to run a little trap inside, and Wilhelm just comes and fills that thing real nicely. Well diagnosed. Good read.
Chicago's been in a lot of these 3rd and 8s. All their short yardage 3rd and 1s came on one drive. Earl Bennett gets the outside, but good pursuit. Dre Bly slowed him down, and then Terrell Brown finished him off with Mark Roman.
San Francisco's got to be happy with the way their defense is getting to the ball. I mean, even when, Dre Bly missed that tackle, but he forced him to the outside where his friends were converging and is able to force that thing, and Bennett gets out of bounds, sets up this 4th.
I'd like to welcome all those joining us on NFL.com. Welcome to NFL Network Thursday Night Football. Log on now for enhanced coverage. Robbie Gould from 38 with Maynard to hold. To pull Chicago within 1. Snap is good. And Gould, who hit a 50-yarder earlier, connects from 38. So after the 4th and 1 stop, Jay Cutler puts 3 on the board. 7:27 to go in the third. Niners by 1 from. Aerial cam is being presented by Southwest Airlines. You get a look at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, where the 49ers lead the Bears 7-6. Bob Pop along with Matt Millen. So glad you can join us for our first Thursday night football game of the year. And the Chicago Bears sideline all fired up.
And they should be fired up. And the guys who are getting fired up right there is that defense, because the defense of Chicago right now is playing really well.
Stopping the Niners on a 4th and a foot. Arnaz battle for the 5. Gets a block to the outside and shoved out of bounds at the 31-yard line by Danielle Manning. 26-yard return. As Alex Smith and the 49ers offense ready to go back to work.
So halfway through the 3rd quarter, this Chicago Bear defense has only given up 108 yards. San Francisco has had 7 possessions. They've only had 7 first downs. That's good defense.
49ers last 4 drives, 28 yards, 1 first down. The touchdown set up after the Terrell Brown interception.
Now they're locked up here.
Smith with some time, middle of the field, finds Crabtree across the 50, gain of 20.
Well, they had man-to-man outside. Smith saw it. He got the protection that he needed, and he was able to find Crabtree down the field. But the whole thing starts right here. Just watch the nice protection, and then I want you to watch Crabtree on the top side. Here he comes. He has the time. He eyeballs him right into that zone, just sitting there, and it's a big first down. They went to Crabtree early, and that's the first time they've gone to him since early in the game.
Niners' biggest offensive yardage gain of the game, 20 yards. Morgan in the middle of the field takes it to the 45 before he's tackled after a gain of 4. I said the biggest offensive gain because, of course, Terrell Brown had a 51-yard interception that set up Frank Gore's 14-yard touchdown run.
But when they went to Crabtree early, I mean, you could see what he can do. And he's one of those guys that they like the matchup with him. And he's pretty accomplished in his route running and getting off jams. You can see right now he's locked up again up top.
4 catches for 48 yards. Nothing doing for Gore. Nick Roach got the first hit on him. That'll be a loss of 2 on the play.
That's good defense up inside by the Chicago Bears. But when you look at Crabtree, the other thing that impresses you is he's not afraid to block. In fact, he wants to block. And he's got some toughness to him. And there's a lot to learn as a young receiver in the National Football League. And one of them is getting these guys to learn to enjoy blocking. He's not afraid. Look, he's going to go right at it. I like that. Kid got some spunk.
Gore 14 carries for 43 yards. San Francisco with a 3rd and 8. You get a whistle and a flag. False start against the Niners.
False start. Offense number 84.
Well, Matt, you didn't
5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Josh Morgan called for the penalty. You talk about the young receiver, and there's a lot of things that they've got to get accomplished just to be successful.
There's a ton. You know, the first thing, you break the huddle, you got to know and understand exactly what your assignment is. And then you got to know your splits. You got to know your hash marks. You got to know where your numbers are. It's a different field in the pros than it is. Then you have motion. Are you motioning to where you have to be? Motioning away. You got to scan the coverage, understand your blocking, know if you have a conversion in your route. There's a ton of stuff that you have to do as a receiver, and as a young receiver, it's a lot to learn.
This will be the Niners' 2nd 3rd down attempt of over 9 yards. They're 0 for 1. Middle screen, Davis. Then a flag comes in right around midfield. He's tackled at the 47-yard line as Chicago swarmed to the football. I think they're going to get a hold against the Niners.
And they also land downfield. Offense number 68. A penalty decline. It's the 4th down.
Adam Snyder, the right tackle, called for the penalty. At least a little too early.
You can't. I mean, you're beating yourself again. Now, the Chicago Bears would have been able to stop that thing regardless. It would have been a 4th down. But you can't continually make mistakes like that.
Andy Lee in the punt. Good high kick. Astor from the 13. And good pursuit as flags fly in. Arnaz battle with the tackle. Brooks got down there in pursuit as well. With 4:26 to go in the 3rd. Another penalty flag. 34-yard punt, 4-yard return.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, number 83 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
So Arnaz Battle gets called for the penalty, which will help Chicago with the face mask. Bears down by 1 in the 3rd.
Had himself 3 picks here tonight. Some you can avoid, and some are just unavoidable. I want you to watch Hester on the outside. You watch it have the comeback. The ball is thrown right now. It's out there. The vision of the corner back inside. He's going to be beat. The ball's thrown, and it's picked. Goes back the other way.
And a 1st and 10. Forte loses a yard. Matt Wilhelm again on the tackle. So he stepped in for Takeo Spikes and done a nice job for San Francisco.
Yeah, the second interception that he had inside, and he tries to rub off the umpire inside, and that comes back to bite him in the rear end too.
Bill Schuster, the umpire.
He was trying to move to the line of scrimmage, and it was, like you said, sometimes they use that umpire to rub a defender off. This time it backfired on him.
Second and 11. Intended for Bennett, incomplete. Shante Spencer on the coverage. You know, we talk about the unproductive first down for Chicago. And, you know, Matt Forte, 16 carries for 33 yards.
And we said they needed balance. And they've not been balanced at all. And they inevitably are going to have to rely on the arm of Jay Cutler because, as we said, the San Francisco front seven is pretty darn good.
This will be the second third down attempt of 9 or more yards for Chicago. 3rd and 11. Middle of the field, Olsen, first down. Make him 1 for 2. Gain of 14 to Olsen.
Nicely done by Cutler. He sees the pressure come from his left side, and then he knows because the pressure's coming that way that Olsen's going to be able to have a hole in the middle of the field. So here comes the pressure off the left side. Eyes are up, down inside, boom, ball's out, first down.
Olsen's 6th catch, 69 yards. From the 44, 1st and 10 Bears. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the third. Forte can't handle it in space. A little high. On Kickoff Sunday with NFL Game Day Morning, the earliest and best pregame show on Sunday, NFL Game Day Morning. All pros Warren Sapp, Marshall Falk, Michael Irvin starts at 9 Eastern, only on NFL Network. It's always fun being in stadiums around the league and getting a chance to talk with Warren and the whole crew and get you set going around the league, getting you the latest updates, weather conditions. Remember Scott Hansen in Buffalo last year?
Oh, yeah.
Getting blown all over the lot.
Heck, that's like being in the locker room. You tune in just to listen to that.
2nd and 10. Cutler under pressure, middle of the field. Earl Bennett's got it. Runs out of a Lewis tackle. There's a flag back on the play. Near midfield. Gain of 40.
Bob, that was great patience by Jay Cutler.
2 flags. 1 in the secondary, 1 near midfield.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Ineligible downfield, offense number 65. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 25 defense. By rule, those penalties offset. Replay, 2nd down.
And Terrell Brown of the Niners got called for the 2nd foul.
You watch him here on Johnny Knox. Just a little bit of an extra hold, and then they just keep on going. That one didn't look like much to me. Look at Lawson, gets up in the air, but did you see the patience there by Jay Cutler? He just stood, let him go up in the air, and just got his eyes down the field, was able to find Bennett. However, it's coming back.
And the penalty was actually on Roberto Garza, I believe, of Chicago. There is no 65 that plays the offensive line. Patrick Manley, who is the long snapper. They called it on 65. But I think it was on Roberto Garza, the right guard, who leaked downfield.
Okay, first they said they offset, and now they're marking it off. And now he's winding the clock. So away we go, and they pick up a first down.
And they called it on Terrell Brown at the end of the play.
That's what they called right there. That hand to the face at the end, that's what they got him for.
At the end of the play. So Cutler
just threw it away. Good decision.
Got out of the tackle box and threw it away. Justin Smith on the coverage.
You know, we've been talking, Justin Smith is one of those players in San Francisco defensive front that's a good player. And he's one of those guys that he just keeps on working it and working it. He's got some toughness to him. He's got a little bit of quickness to him. But he's the leader. They brought him in a year ago, and he's kind of become the leader of this defense, especially up front.
From the 41, 2nd and 10. Forte dragged down nicely by Matt Wilhelm.
Matt Wilhelm is playing himself a good football game here. He came in from Takeo Spikes, and he's been very active. He's jumped right down in there. Good discipline, good reads, and he's getting to his gap responsibility where he has to be. Once Justin Smith shrinks the thing down, he just gets off the block and makes the tackle. Well done.
Third and 8 for the Bears. Inside the 40 at the 39. Hester in motion. Cutler, middle of the field, skipped it to Knox. Well, we saw Cutler show so much patience on that one pressure. That time he rushed it a little bit, didn't he, Matt?
Yeah, and he's mad at himself. He knows it. As soon as he let the ball go, he just turned and ran to the sideline because he had it on the end. It was coming back underneath. It was a nice combination. They cleared out with the inside runner and came back underneath, and he missed it. It was open.
Cutler now 20 of 33 for 220 yards. No touchdowns, 3 picks. Maynard's punt. Angles it to the near sideline. Oh, beautiful punt as it dies at the 4. And they'll mark it out at the 6. 33-yard punt. Well, this is just the start of Week 10 in the National Football League, Matt. Some great games on tap this weekend. How about the Cincinnati Bengals? They already have a win against Pittsburgh. They'll travel to Pittsburgh, first place in the AFC North at stake. Packers better get some blocking against DeMarcus Ware. And then how about Sunday night on NBC? The Patriots and Colts. And then on Monday night, you've got the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's really struggling right now. And Baltimore coming off that loss last week in Cincinnati.
But the second half of the season, and this is now just when you're starting to get the best of each team.
Walker goes in motion to give for Gore. And Gore just gets engulfed at the point of attack. No gain on the play. Goulier did a nice job getting off his block.
Goulier, he's been active inside. Tommy Harris has been active inside. Harrison's been active. It's been a good night for the down 4 of the Chicago Bears. They've been getting off the ball well. They've been getting good penetration inside. They've been holding the point. All the things you need for good, solid defense.
Frank Gore averaging 3.1 yards per carry. 43 yards on 14 attempts. He has the only touchdown here tonight. Smith, Vernon Davis, tackled by Nick Roach. Will mark his forward progress at the 11. Gain of 5.
They've only tried to push the ball down the field just a few times, and it's been to Michael Crabtree, who's not really a real speed guy. Now, he will go up and get the ball, but you're going to be able to run with him for the most part.
And the Niners do not have to run another play with 20 seconds to go on the play clock and 13 seconds to go and counting here in the third quarter.
Good old-fashioned defensive football. Chicago Bears and San Francisco playing good defense.
After 3, the Niners in front, 7-6. It's been hard hitting. So glad to kick off our Thursday night football schedule here in San Francisco at Candlestick Park. The Niners with a 1-point lead as we start the fourth quarter of play. Bob Papa along with Matt Millen. So glad you can join us. San Francisco 49ers will have a third down from their own 11-yard line. The only touchdown tonight, Frank Gore, a 14-yard touchdown run. Alex Smith, 14 of 18 for 109 yards passing.
Locked up man across the board.
Gore tries to throw the out, and Morgan slipped. Corey Graham on the coverage.
They like the tight coverage, so apparently the Chicago Bears defenders think that they can run with these guys and they can give pressure, even if they run out in the zone. They're not afraid of their speed.
Now, you played a long time with the Raiders, played a couple of years with the 49ers in this Bay Area. When nightfall comes, the moisture, this field can get slick.
Oh, yeah. He said it, Mark Twain. About it being cold here. The coldest winter he ever had was the summer in San Francisco.
Lee kicks it away from Hester, and it'll teeter along midfield. No return. 39-yard punt, but great field position for the Bears here in Chicago, trailing by 1. Jay Cutler and the Bears, and Alex Smith and the Niners in a tight one. Bears defense has risen up here. 7-6 to score from midfield. Forte.
Nice hit.
NFL Total Access will take you around the league for the latest news and information from all 32 teams. NFL Total Access Monday through Saturdays, only on NFL Network. Tune in, you find out who's making news around the National Football League every night here on NFL Network. Rich Eisen and the entire crew do a great job with that, keeping you informed about your favorite football team. 2nd and 8. Forte. Hit by Willis and Wilhelm and Smith.
You know, now those of you sitting at home, you may be watching this thing, say, man, where's all the offense and where's all the excitement? But I got to tell you, there's a lot of good stuff going on the defensive side of the ball. That is excellent job of holding the point on the front side, good discipline on the backside, and Willis just comes back and bang. They have not gotten much from Matt Forte tonight. And that's because that defensive front has played so well.
He has 88 yards receiving. Low snap. Cutler, middle of the field. Intercepted. Mark Roman with the Niners' 4th pick. And thrown down at the 42-yard line.
The whole thing started with a bad snap. And then Jake Cutler tried to rush himself. And came up out of that thing, thought he had a receiver, forced the ball inside to Kellen Davis, and it was picked. Bad snap right there by Olin Kreutz. So he steps up, forces it right there.
Roman, can you make the case that Roman made contact right there?
Yeah, you could.
I mean, that should be interference, Matt.
Instead, it's a pick, and it's going the other way. Yeah, not real thrilled with that.
How could that not be interference? 4th interception of Jay Cutler tonight. Looked like Roman ran right through Davis.
He has a right to the ball. That's all I would say defensively.
Gore on the check down. Gore knocked inside the 40. Tackled by Mark Anderson after a gain 5. Well, Jay Cutler since 1962, the first quarterback since Billy Wade with 2 4-interception games in 1 season.
Well, 2 of them for sure aren't on him. I mean, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, once they're thrown, they're thrown. But 2 of them weren't, and this last one, you know, to me, I look at that's good defense by Mark Roman, but you can make the case that he did bump him.
Now for the season, 16 interceptions thrown by Cutler. Smith buys himself some time. He's trying to find Davis, but he overthrew him out of bounds.
You see Jay Cutler not real pleased with what the heck is going on. He's talking Olsen to that thing, but you know, here's the bottom line. Jay Cutler, as a team now, Jay Cutler should turn around and thank that defense, because right now the defense is keeping him completely in the game. You're throw 3 picks. Here comes your 4th. You're in poor field position, and they have this 3rd down and have an opportunity to get off the field here.
Conversely, San Francisco has recorded 4 interceptions, and they can't deliver the knockout punch. 3rd and 5 from the 39. Direct snap to Gore. Gets a block. Frank Gore to the 20. Gore down to the 10, and he fumbled the football as he got hit from behind And they say San Francisco ball. That's the preliminary signal.
Well, Frank Gore is getting up with a little bit of a...
Oh, and I think Mark Anderson looked like he threw a punch. Peanut Tillman punched it out from behind.
A lot of whistling going on down there. Frank Gore got up, kind of holding his shoulder.
I think it was Josh Morgan that recovered the football.
It's a big recovery right there. But a nice play call by the 49ers. You know, generally it's not the guy who's in front of you, it's the guy behind you who's going to punch that thing out. Tillman does do that.
And Morgan comes diving in, and then he wins the battle at the end because it's not always who recovers it. There's a lot going on at the bottom of that pile, Matt.
There always is. Did you see how Tillman came up from behind? All you young defenders out there, when you're coming up from behind, you punch through. That was really good job.
Play totals 33 yards, first and goal. Gore to the 1.
Apparently his shoulder didn't hurt that much. That was good finishing of that run.
Danielle Manning on the tackle, along with Hunter Hillenmeyer. Gore looking for his second touchdown of the ball game. So on a 3rd and 5, the direct snap, and then Gore in space. And credit Josh Morgan for saving the possession. Second and goal. Gore again. Oh, great pursuit to the football by the Bears. Harrison and Agulier clean it up.
They've been doing this all night long. They've been controlling the line of scrimmage inside. Watch the guys down inside. They're going to try to come off that thing this direction. Agulier right there. Stelz is right there. Lance Briggs is right there. They try to get the defense flowing one way and then come back the other.
You have enough confidence in Alex Smith to put it in the air?
Doesn't matter if I do. It matters if they do. I'd have to throw it right here.
Gore in the backfield. Davis in motion. Smith in trouble. And he just throws it away.
Smart. Take the 3 points. If he could have bought a little bit of time, he had an open receiver coming off the back, but they got some pressure.
So the 49ers will settle for a field goal try with 10:15 to go.
Yeah, the guy they like down in here is Vernon Davis. And you can see him right there. Watch Josh Morgan. He breaks. Had he been able to just take a little bit more time, Morgan had a shot for 6.
21-yard field goal for Joe Nedney. He gets it down, and Nedney knocks it through. So with 10-11 to go in the ball game, San Francisco adds 3. They lead it by 4. Gore after the run. Josh Morgan to the rescue. And 11 to go. 49ers lead the Bears 10-6. Jay Cutler's thrown 4 interceptions. Alex Smith, well, his ball club with the lead, not able to capitalize though on 1st and goal inside the 5. Smith is throwing an interception as well. Johnny Knox mishandles the kickoff at the 5. Knox gets hit again and knocked down at the 16-yard line. Well, it has not been a banner night so far for Jay Cutler.
Well, any way you look at it, whether it's his fault or not, you got 4 picks. And they happen in a variety of different throws in a variety of different ways, but the fact remains they're there. And so what does Chicago have to do? The thing that's interesting for me is what will Ron Turner do? Does he have the confidence now to go back to Jay Cutler even after throwing the 4? And will they still continue to push the ball down the field? My hunch is yes.
They haven't been able to run the ball. Forte, 19 carries for 38 yards. Nice play by Shante Spencer to fight off the block and make the tackle. Gain of 2.
And so the Chicago Bear passing game, if you looked at it, it's very condensed. They haven't pushed the ball down the field at all. and so everything has been short and kind of intermediate.
On the last interception, Orlando Pace was slow to get up. They've got Kevin Schaefer in at left tackle. He's communicating with Greg Olsen as they come to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 8. Slant, Knox, incomplete. Terrell Brown on the coverage.
You know, Bob, at the start of this game, we said that this Chicago Bear offense would go as far as this offensive line would take it. And to this point, with 9 minutes left to go in the game, the San Francisco 49er defensive line has beaten them. And they've gotten pressure, and they've taken the run game completely away.
Between 5 and 8 yards on 3rd downs, the Bears are 1 for 5. 6 of 13 overall. But in this range, 1 for 5. Cutler under pressure, just throws it up. And nearly intercepted again as tremendous heat put on by Patrick Willis.
Yeah, they brought some heat. As Greg Minuski dialed up some pressure, and they were able to get there. And they forced him. You can see right at the end. And now here comes Patrick Willis just closing on it.
No room for Jay Cutler. Brad Maynard to punt. On the season, Maynard averages 40.3 yards a punt.
Poor punt. Returnable.
Takes a favorable roll, and Jones is going to let it roll all the way inside the 20. So Maynard drove it and kicks his team out of field position. Niners ball by 4. Chicago Bears and Mike Singletary's Niners.
Yeah, he wants his whole group. Come on over to Daddy. I got something to say to you. Now, this is the part where Mike, he wants to get his group all on the same page, and he's going to try to get them, give them the motivation that they need. That's the player in him that still is in there. That's the part that I really like about him.
9:01 to go. Niners by 4. Nowhere to run for Frank Gore. It's shut down by Briggs and Danielle Manning. 4 turnovers that you forced, but you only have 10 points to show for it. Plus Nedney, after 50 in a row from 40 or less, misses a 39-yarder.
That's a big one.
If you're the Bears right now, just play defense. Keep giving Jay Cutler an opportunity with 8:33 to go in the ball game. San Francisco's got to get a little something going offensively.
Got to get something. Their defense has played well, as has the 49er defense has played well.
Gore with room. Gore across the 30. Gore with a first down up to the 40-yard line. Gain of 23 for Frank Gore.
This is a good job of his offensive line. And off to the right side. And then Gore right there with Josh Bullocks just freezes him. Cuts back to the inside. Picks up about 20. He should be around 100 yards right now.
19 of 93. And you notice once he got in space and got past Bullocks, 2 hands on the ball.
Good job. He learned from the last time he was down here.
Gore comes set. Gore reverses his field. Briggs gets him around the neck after a gain of 3.
Did you see Lance Briggs right there, how he redirected? That's the sign of an excellent linebacker. Yeah, it's just change of direction. A lot of times you see it in space, but here in that run game, they start one way, and then Gore comes back the other side, and Briggs just redirects really well. Watch this, see, it's right there. See, he comes inside out.
So 2nd and 7 for the Niners. Under 7 minutes to go in the game. Gore again in space, tackled by Hunter Hillenmeyer. 7th-year linebacker out of Vanderbilt, gain of 4.
And so they get to 3rd and manageables, which is where they want to be. So 3rd and about 4. Their intermediate game works. They don't have to push the ball anywhere.
Frank Gore now has exactly 100 yards on 21 carries. He's on the sideline for a breather with Glenn Coffey inactive. Michael Robinson in at tailback.
Bunch down below here.
Gives for Robinson. He's got the first down. Tackled from behind by Danielle Manning. That's an impressive drive right now by the Niners.
Yeah, and a good job of a little bit of a mix, but mostly the running game going on right here. But they come to bunch to that right side, and they just try to gain leverage with your blocking. And a lot of it here is with the tight ends, and that's going to be Vernon Davis. I want you to watch him. He's got to get the edge. He's got to seal that thing right there. Gets on Manning and just slows him down. Wasn't a powerful block, but he was able to just slow him down to tad so Robinson could get the edge.
All 5 plays in this drive runs for the Niners. Gore back in. Maybe a half yard and that's it. Hillenmeyer on the tackle. Approaching 5 minutes to go in the ball game. San Francisco trying to snap a 4-game losing streak.
And just trying to control the football here. And they're just trying to work the clock and run it down. And they have the 4 points. And they'll play it just for the field goal if they have to.
And what this drive has accomplished, even if they don't get another first down, that is they've changed field position. This drive started at their own 18-yard line. 2nd and 10. It's intended for Norris, incomplete.
That's going to go against the Chicago Bears. They jumped inside.
The Goulier got the pressure on Smith.
Defense number 91 in the neutral zone for snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
It's on Tommy Harris. So another penalty by the Bears.
Penalties, turnovers. It goes back to beating yourself. You can't beat yourself. Chicago Bears tonight they've been awful.
More penalty yardage than rushing yards tonight. That's never a good thing.
No, but this Bear defense has kept them in the game. And they've held them here to 10 points. This is still a winnable game.
Gore can't squeeze through. The hole, it closes fast. Goulier and Hillenmeyer on the tackle.
Now this Bear defense has been able to control because of the defensive line, the down lineman, and that's Rod Marinelli, and he coaches the defensive. That's one of the best teachers, football coaches that I've ever been around. He's also very influential. You know, the first thing I did when I took out the roster, I looked at it, and you look, there's 27 defenders, and there's 23 on offense, and there's 10 defensive linemen. So he's had a little influence there on the roster.
Big 3rd and 3. Robinson in at tailback. Smith, Robinson bobbles it, catches it. He's not contacted. He can get up, and he does for a first down.
Well, there's a night at the Improv for Alex Smith, and he's able to get it and pump it out to Robinson, the former quarterback at Penn State, who just takes this thing, and first you have to get the handle. Once you get the handle, then you get the first.
Just rolled forward, and because nobody touched him down, he can roll as much as he wants. More importantly, he got the hot potato, and he rolled for a first down.
And they keep the clock moving, and it's moving down.
Gore stood up by Briggs. No gain on the play. Now Chicago is going to call a timeout with 3:40 to go in the ballgame. The Bears use their first timeout as Jay Cutler can only watch. Lovie Smith needs a stop and fast here in San Francisco on Thursday Night Football.
I'm a mess.
3:43 remaining in the ball game. Chicago has used one of their 3 timeouts. The Niners with a 4-point lead as San Francisco is on a 9-play, 44-yard drive using 5 minutes and 18 seconds. 8 of the plays have been runs. They took over possession with 9:01 remaining. 2nd and 10. Gore again on the run. Gore picks up about 2 on the play, so that's the 10th play of the drive, 9 runs. And Matt, you talk about 4-minute offenses at the end of games. San Francisco's trying to pull off a 9-minute offense.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. And so for the Chicago Bears, as good a defense as they've played all game long, and they've kept their team in this thing, basically, it only matters right now. Now is when you determine whether you're a really good defense or not. If you can stop them here and get the ball back, you've done your job. The rest of the game really doesn't matter. Now is what counts.
Because it's still a 1-possession game at 10-6. Smith on 3rd down. Smith going to run it. Agulier knocks him down after a gain of about 1 yard. And Chicago will burn their 2nd timeout with 2:51 to go.
And this would be about a 50-yard field goal if they'd want to try it, which I wouldn't think they would.
It's been a long time since Chicago has been able to come to San Francisco and win a football game. They're 0 for their last 6 trips. You got to break out the NFL Films music and the fridge. William the Refrigerator Perry.
Sweetness.
Walter Payton. 26-10 win in 1985. That was the Bears' Super Bowl season. They've lost their last 6 trips.
And that's a great shot right there at the end. Walter Payton, Hall of Famer, being tackled by Ronnie Lott, another Hall of Famer.
You think about all the good things for San Francisco, but that missed 39-yard field goal, 1st and goal inside the 5, not able to get a touchdown, having settled for 3, scored. He's reported 4 interceptions, but you're up 4 points with 2:53 to go, and you've got to punt the football away. Andy Lee in to punt.
Okay, so now here's what the 49ers are saying. 49ers are saying our defense has played very, very well. We're going to make you have to drive the whole field, which you have not been able to do all game long.
Lee doesn't even mess with the sideline. He kicks it into the end zone. Why not kick to the sideline and at least try to get it out inside the 10?
Yeah, I agree. That was poor right there. He's not happy with himself. Mike Singletary's not happy with him.
And that's just a net of 14 yards. I'm sure Andy Lee has to be mad at himself. There's no one to blame. He's the one with the ball and punting it.
He was just yelling at himself. Rule number 1, don't dog yourself. All right, so they're 80 yards away. You got to get 6 out of this thing to win this football game. That's why you brought this quarterback to town, for situations just like this.
Cutler under pressure, hit by Smith, and the pass goes incomplete.
You know what I love about this? When the game's on the line, and right now the game's on the line, who's going to step up? This is what really matters. And so who's the guy who comes through? Justin Smith. Watch him, just pure power. He gets to the edge of that thing, goes right by Beekman, and gets in on the quarterback. Sets up second.
Mike Singletary told us he's just a cowboy. He wants to go ride it and ride it all night as far as getting after that quarterback. Nobody open. Cutler, middle of the field, and nearly intercepted again as it went over the head of Earl Bennett.
I got to tell you, Greg Minuski, their defensive coordinator in San Francisco, has done a very good job of mixing up coverages and keeping things off balance. He's hiding there behind that guard, but this guy here has done a good job of calling defenses tonight. The front has done what they've had to do, and he's been able to protect his secondary pretty well.
Third and 10 for Chicago. They're 1 of 2 on 3rd and longs. Flag on the play. Over the head of Hester, incomplete. We'll check the flag.
I know one thing, regardless of the flag, 49ers just knocked it up a notch. Their defensive line got after the offensive line of the Bears.
Penalty's going to be against.
Illegal formation. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. Offense. That penalty's declined. It's a 4th down.
So what do you do here?
Is that the left tackle, Kevin Schaefer, kind of cheating a little bit, not being lined up properly?
Yeah, 78 left tackle. You're exactly right. And the guy he's going over there is Justin Smith. Watch him. See this right here? His head has to be even with the belt buckle, or the lower part of the number, the belt buckle of the center, and it's not there. It's a good call by the official.
So Mike Singletary declines the penalty to make it 4th and 10. Bears with 1 timeout remaining. 2:31 to go in the game. Plus the 2-minute warning.
Half safeties are going to give him coverage.
They show blitz with Willis. Flag in the secondary. Cutler behind Olsen, incomplete. But there's a flag at the 45-yard line. And Cutler took a shot as well.
Well, the 49ers, they've gotten after this Chicago Bear offensive line.
But that flag is where you normally get defensive holding deep in the secondary. And that's an automatic 1st down if that's the call. It's the back judge who threw the flag. And Manny Lawson drilled Jay Cutler. Michael Lewis is down for the Niners.
Well, the quarterback was still in the pocket. Illegal contact. Defense.
1st down.
Number 31.
Trey Bly.
5-yard penalty.
Call for the penalty.
And a 1st down.
The 11th year pro out of North Carolina as Lewis walks off.
There's Dre Bly right there in the slot. He's going to try to take, see how he's trying to build the wall on the inside. He gets a bump right there.
It's past 5 yards.
Let me tell you something. I guess that's the rule. That's Manny Lawson finishing that thing off.
So on a 1st down, they give it to Forte. Another flag on the play as Forte picks up 5. But that one comes from the line of scrimmage. Preliminary call, a hold against Chicago.
Holding. Offense number 63. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Roberto Garza called for the hold.
I want you to watch right there. 63. Right there's the hole. Right there. Just grabs it up inside of McDonald. And it's right in full view of the referee. And that's where the flag comes from. There's Orlando Pace in the sideline being replaced because of an injury.
We're told he had the wind knocked out of him, but Kevin Schaefer has remained in the game at left tackle. Schaefer, an 8th year pro out of Tulsa. Replay the down. Cutler avoids the sack. Forte in space. Hit by Terrell Brown and tackled near the 30-yard line.
Oh, man, it's a flagathon.
At the end of the play, flags came flying in. You saw the head linesman throw a flag.
It's like Chris Williams going over the top, taking a hit on somebody.
Came in flying over the pile and hit Patrick Willis once Forte was down.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness number 74 offense. It's a 15-yard penalty. The down counts. It'll be 2nd down.
So another penalty against the Bears. Not a smart play by Chris Williams at the 2-minute warning.
Jeff Taylor.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Bud Light, with the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light. The difference is drinkability. And by Van Heusen at JCPenney. Voice your choice at jcp.com/fan.
2 minutes to go. Bears down by 4. 2nd and 20. Hester trying to find space. Takes it up to the 25-yard line. Patrick Willis on the tackle.
Pickup of 10. It sets up 3rd and 10. It's still 4 down territory, so that was a good game.
But the bad penalty by Chris Williams, because the down counts. 10 penalties by Chicago tonight, plus 4 turnovers. Flag on the play as Cutler checks down underneath to Forte. Forte across the 40 to the 45.
And it stops the clock.
And we check the penalty with Ron Winter. Gain of 20.
Outside. Defense number 98 lined up in the neutral zone. Penalties decline. Play results in a first down.
Harris Harrelson called for the penalty. Forte is the first Bears running back to have over 100 yards receiving since Raymond Harris did it back in 1996.
Oh, Raymond Harris. There's a name for you.
Forte with 41 yards rushing, but 120 yards receiving. First and 10 for Cutler, middle of the field. Olsen tripped up by Mark Roman.
That penalty there stopped the clock at $1:26.
Chicago has 1 timeout remaining. 1:10 to go. Cutler, Hester, inside the 40 to the 39.
Got to go to hurry up right here. You're already under a minute.
Say Jewelers post game coming up right after the ball game. Cutler spikes it with 52 seconds to go.
39 yards, 52 seconds is very doable. And like we said earlier, that's why you brought this quarterback here to Chicago. So forget all the mistakes. Forget the great defense. Forget all that stuff. Now you got to make a play, and that's why you're here.
A little confusion with the Niners defensively. They had to hustle Ballmer off the field. 2nd and 10. Cutler, middle of the field again. Devin Hester just got touched down by Patrick Willis at the 30. Gain of 9.
Down to 40 seconds. 30 yards away. Nice patience in the pocket. They're playing them 4 deep. They're giving the zone.
Slant again. Johnny Knox. Tackled at the 22. 25 seconds to go. First down, Chicago.
Got to clock it here. Get to 20 seconds. You have about 4 plays to go.
Cutler downs it with 17 seconds remaining in the ball game.
17 seconds. You have 3 plays. 3 plays. You have 1 timeout left.
Which means you can use the middle of the field still.
Exactly right. Now you figure between plays now he's got to get about 10 yards here, and then they got to go to the end zone. Don't go to the end zone from here.
2nd and 10. Hester.
Perfect.
To the sideline, and that's Devin Aromashado, the 3rd-year man out of Auburn.
That is perfectly done. Now you take your shots. Now you have 3 plays to go to the end zone. But remember, this is where Cutler has struggled in the red zone. They've gotten down here. He's had pick problems. He's thrown interceptions. But this is it.
And now San Francisco wants a timeout with 13 seconds remaining.
Because what Mike Singletary is seeing right now is a tired defensive front. So on the front end, what you're seeing with getting pressure, as they've moved down the field, they've slowed down, and they're not getting the pressure. So he's going to give him some breath.
And a smart timeout by Singletary there, just to get his team organized with 13 seconds to go. Jay Cutler, 29 of 50 for 307 yards, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but he's got 13 seconds. And he has 12 yards to work with to win the football game.
And all that will not make a hill of beans if he puts it in here for 6. They're replaying this upstairs. It's inside of 2 minutes. And it must be good because they're moving it on.
Drag the right foot.
Yeah, got both feet down. He's got to go to the end zone here. Although he still has 1 timeout left. He could still use it inside. But you push it to the end zone with 13 seconds.
1st and 10 for Cutler. To the middle of the field, Olsen, incomplete. Lewis on the coverage. That's the guy they want to get the ball to in the red zone.
This is where he's not very good. I mean, this is where he struggles, is in this red zone. Trying to push it down there to Olsen. The coverage is all there. He's looking at it the whole time. Lewis is all over it. 8 seconds left. It'll take 6 seconds. You'll have about 2 left. And he pushes it into the end zone. He can't try to buy any time. The ball has to come out quick.
Hester to the bottom of the screen. Cutler to the end zone. Intercepted. Michael Lewis gets pick number 5. And the San Francisco 49ers have ended their 4-game losing streak, and Jay Cutler picked off for the 5th time tonight. Matt, could he have run with it?
He could have. He would have had a chance if he threw it away earlier. As it is, it ends up with no time left on the clock. If he'd have taken a chance, you'd have probably had a better chance of taking off and running.
So former Bear great Mike Singletary leads his 49ers to victory 10-6. As we take a look at the final play, Jay Cutler's 5th interception of the night.
Remember, we said the one thing we didn't want to do is try to extend the play. It had to come out quick. Now he jumps up. There's a lot of green. That's just not a good throw. It's not a good throw. He's looking for Olsen down inside, and so his problems that he had in the red zone continue. It beat him early in the game, and it beats him to end the game.
Ironically, the last Bears quarterback to throw 5 interceptions in a game, Kyle Orton in 2005. Mike Singletary spoke with his team earlier in the week. He reminded them who we are. We can beat anybody as long as we don't beat ourselves. We're going to come out swinging. And they tuned Jay Cutler up to the tune of 5 interceptions tonight.
Well, this was a defensive game on both sides of the ball. Well, both teams played good defense.
Jay Cutler, 29 of 52, 307 yards, and 5 interceptions. 2 of them coming in the red zone, the last one with the game on the line. Our final score, the 49ers 10 and the Bears 6. Stay tuned for the Kay Jewelers postgame show. We'll see you next week in Carolina as the Dolphins take on the Panthers. Thanks to Colabolus Creative Services for their work on our show. For Matt Millen and our entire crew at NFL Network, good night and thanks for watching. The Niners win it 10-6.
I'm soon. Welcome to U.S. Cellular Bears postgame live. I am Pat Boyle, Mike Sy with 3 former Bears, Mr. GQ Jerry Azuma, our quarterback Jim Miller, and our lead blocker Dan Jiggets. I know Cutler was bad, and we'll break down all 5 interceptions, including the last one with 8 ticks to go. That said, I thought this game was lost when the Bears had it 1st and goal at the 3-yard line in the 2nd quarter. Forte, 1 yard. Forte, 1 yard. Cutler, inexcusable pick.
There's no question about it. I mean, and you can't argue with them all. Maybe you'll say one play here or there, receiver falls down or whatever, but 5 interceptions in the night again? Come on. That's got to stop. You keep beating yourself. You think you're going to win a game. You're not going to win any games doing this. And you just got fortunate there at the end because I think they were all fooling ourselves because I don't know if it's going to change come the next ball game anyway.
Had they won, would Lovie admitted this was an ugly win? I mean, that was pathetic, what we saw tonight.
You don't know if, like last week's game, which was a blowout, that seems minor compared to how ugly this game was, and it was a close game. Again, give the Bears defense a lot of credit. They rose to the occasion, but let's face it, the Bears had more yardage and penalties than they had rushing the football tonight. I mean, that is devastating for this football team.
Terrible. Folks, just look at it this way. At least you were able to have adult beverages while you watched the game. All right? It's pretty brutal. We had to watch this with like a Diet Coke in hand. As always, we want to hear from you. Send us your comments, and some of them will appear on the bottom of our sports ticker. Keep the comments short. I know it's late, but to keep them clean, go to csnchicago.com, click on the Bears PGL icon, or if you want to get us with your mobile device, try to get us at BearsPGL at ComcastSportsNet.com. A lot of angry Bears fans on this night, like Ben in Sycamore. Everything about Ron Turner's game plan is predictable. If I can predict what the Bears are going to do, then I'm sure the 49ers can. And, of course, we're going to get things like this. Mike in Chicago, do you think Jay Cutler is just a taller Rex Grossman? You knew it was going to happen.
I don't recall Rex throwing 5 picks in 4 or 5 games in the season.
He did.
Decision making. The most picks since Sid Luckman, I think, was the stat tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the last franchise quarterback. All right, let's get this party started, or whatever it is, funeral, with our opening kickoff. And as always, we begin with Dan Jickets, who's been here like 17 hours.
Well, you know what? And nothing has changed in that Bear offense. Hey, you know what? You keep making mistakes. You keep beating yourself. And at the end of the season, you're going to go home with very unhappy campers. And that's what's happening to the Bears. They're beating themselves. That's it.
Well, for the Bears to have any life and any heartbeat left to go to postseason play, it is now over. The realities of the season, you're looking towards to next year to build this football team. Hopefully they can finish on a strong note, but I think we know with division play, 2 against Minnesota, another one against Green Bay, they've probably fallen out of the wild card hopes.
And I'm looking at this game and I'm saying, you know, what is there a positive that came from this? And obviously,
yeah, it ended.
Yeah, it did end. But the defense actually, they really did play well. The defensive line did a great job today. Lance Briggs was everywhere. They basically shut this team down to about 216 total yards. And this is a high-powered offense, like with the running game and the passing game with Davis. They have some potential to make a lot of noise, but the defense really stepped it up.
Yeah, I thought that was the one thing I was wondering about, you know, what kind of character were they going to show? What kind of confidence was the defense going to show? Because, you know, with Vernon Davis stepping up and saying what he did, and I think that Vernon probably learned a valuable lesson tonight, though, and that is when you step out and you say something like that, you better be ready to get punched in the mouth, and that's what happened to them, basically, from a defensive standpoint with the Bears' defense going after their offense. But other than that, the offense of the Bears was just, I guess you could call it crummy.
Jay Cutler, after his 5-interception performance addressing the media. Let's take you there live on Comcast Sportsnet.
Oh, I mean, that's tough. You know, I got to apologize to the defense. I think the offense as a whole has to apologize. You know, they played a great game. They kept us in there, even through all the turnovers. So, you know, we got to lead a lot better.
Jay, how can you guys?
We got some time off. You know, we got Philly come in. Really tough game at home. You know, so we're gonna have to find a way.
Is it short? Both teams had struggled on offense. I just wonder if the short week affects the offense.
I've played on Thursday games before and been successful, so it wasn't. You know, it didn't affect us. We saw everything coming. They didn't have any surprises for us. We just didn't execute.
So you had a chance on the last play. Were you looking for Bennett? What happened on that?
Earl wasn't even in the picture there. You know, we were going for. We had a lot of stuff going. You know, it just didn't work out.
On the illegal contact play where the drive got called, it looked like you took a point back.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
How do you explain all that?
I don't know. Got to go back and look at it. I've got to play better. I've got to take care of the ball.
Jay, earlier this season, people were calling this team a possible Super Bowl team. Playoffs. How do you look at the rest of the season?
We've got to take it one game at a time. We've got to stay positive. We've got to keep believing in what we're doing. And I think with the high character group we got, a lot of leaders in that locker room, I don't think it's going to be a problem. You know, I think we're going to bounce back just fine. And, you know, we're going to go out and play hard. You know, Lovey's going to get us ready to go. So that's not going to be an issue for us.
Anything else, guys?
Thanks.
Oh, that was enlightening. I thought it would come down to the quarterback play, Alex Smith versus Jay Cutler. I just didn't see Cutler coming up with 5 interceptions and Alex coming up with 1. Here he is, day versus night. You had the Green Bay game, the Atlanta game, and tonight's contest. These are pretty numbers. At night, 3 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions, or nationally televised games would be another way to look at it. Flip side, 11 and 6. He now leads the league with 17 interceptions, 14 touchdowns on the year.
Well, it doesn't bode well for the flex schedule. If it get moved to a night game, the problem
might start playing these in the morning or on Saturday afternoons
folks,
during the cartoon hour.
I don't know if it was a full moon out there or a full moon here and why we're having such a good time over this loss. But think about 3 of those interceptions. 3 of the 5, they were not Jay Cutler's fault. Comeback route by Devin Hester. Falls down on the play. Drive route by Devin Hester, man coverage. If you're looking, you're booking. Means you don't stop. No matter if the official gets in your way, slam them to the ground. That's what Devin Hester has to do. Kellen Davis, you're 6'7", 270 pounds, and you let Roman Harper knock you on your fanny on a little post route. Can't happen on that play. The last interception is Jay's fault, and obviously the goal line situation.
So they're saying 1 and 5 are his fault, 2, 3, and 4 aren't.
Right.
The 2 of them were the crucial goal line area. That was Jay's big.
And that's been the issue with him all along since he's been here, is down in the red zone. What does he do in the red zone? And it's just been brutal.
2 red zone picks today. That makes 5 on the year. And
too many to count.
You take a look at it here. Now he's got the most in the National Football League interceptions at 17. But again, it's the red zone situation that's killing him.
That one's huge. But you look at 2, 3, and 4. The Bears are moving the football. Look at the total yardage. Bears 350, 49ers 216. It's killing drives. And it keeps a defense on the field. What happens to the Bears repeatedly defensively, they would have worn San Francisco out. None of them should happen. Quite honestly,
I actually think it's amazing that
football and win.
I think it's amazing that they still had a chance to win this game, though. You know,
that's how bad the 49ers are.
And
how good the defense
played. The defense played extremely well, and they were placed in some bad situations, but they got the job done, and they had a chance and opportunity to win this game at the very end.
The season's over, right? I mean, let's be honest.
Well, you still got,
or not,
you still got 7 games to go that you got to play. Hey, look, you can't walk out there and go, you know what? We can't. The season's over. We're not playing.
No, I know.
You're going to go play. You better go play or get your ass out the door. One of the two. That's what it's all about. Are you going to play as the season over? Hell no, it's not over. You got games to play. You better go out and
playing for jobs. You're not playing for the playoffs.
Right now.
You're playing for jobs.
You play for whatever, but you better go out there and put a winning effort on the field.
When it counted,
if not,
they haven't played.
Take off. That's all.
Lovey's addressing the media. Let's see what he has to say after this ugly performance.
Like that, you're in for a game, and that's the way it went all night for us. 49ers, of course, played hard throughout. Thought we did too, but playing hard and doing some things that you just can't do. I mean, it's hard to win a football game when you have 5 turnovers of the football. Again, I thought we did some good things of keeping ourselves in the football game and gave ourselves an opportunity right up until the end. But again, you can't have those, especially those 2 down in the red zone. Other side of the football, the guys played hard throughout, made plays, kept a good running back down as much as we possibly could. And I thought the defensive, players just did a good job of controlling them for most of the night. But they've made a couple more plays than we did, especially there late. Disappointing to be sitting here at 4 and 5 right now. I think we're a better football team than that, but normally, whatever your record says is what you are. We have a lot of football left to go. Have another big game coming up, but this one is disappointing. This one hurts, but we'll bounce back from it. Injury-wise, Des Clark hurt his neck, was unable to, to come back in the game. I'm trying to think of who else we had. Bowman took, same injury, lower back injury. As last week, wasn't able to finish. And those, injuries, of course, hurt us a little bit, but thought the guys that came in did a decent job. I'll take your question. Well, very. It's not something we've had trouble. We've turned the ball over some games where we can't, but the penalties, that hasn't been something that we've done a lot as far as past games. But they hurt you in the end. They can beat you at the end, and that's what happened. I mean, interception's an interception. To me, Jay is trying to make a play on everyone, but you just have to, use a little bit better judgment on some of them. He's trying to make a play, but especially the ones in the red zone, we just can't have it. Sure, we can make playoffs. I mean, we have 5 losses right now. 5 losses won't keep you out of the playoffs. But for us, it's about getting a win. I mean, Philadelphia is coming up next. Again, there are some bright things that we can build on. A lot of football left to go. 2 9-7 teams, I think, made it in. But that's a long ways away. As much as anything for us, we need to just be able to finish a game and get a win. I think it knocks you back a few steps when you throw, that many interceptions. Yeah, it hurts you. Jay realizes what that did, for the team, but can't. I mean, this is a loss. We have a team loss is what we have. Jay and the rest of the group, all of us going to have to regroup and get ready to go. There's a lot of football left to go still. No, I don't think that has much to do with it at all. After a tough loss, normally you can look at any team after a tough loss and you have the same problem. The confidence is down a little bit. I mean, it's shaking a little bit after you lose a football game. But I think the team also saw how close we were to pulling this game out. So again, there are some positives that we will build on. One more time, a lot of football left to go. This one hurts, but we'll come back. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of football to be played. And here's a look at Jay's night quarter by quarter. Goes 7 of 9 in that first quarter. Again, the costly turnover in the second quarter at the goal line, 3rd and goal to go. And after Ron Turner goes run, puts him in an obvious passing situation. And I'm going to blame Jay for absolutely a poor decision, but again, the play calling doesn't help him out there.
Let's go. Even look at that pass play. They bring in Kevin Schaefer in at the left tackle spot on the pass play. You want to know what? If you can't block on the first 2 running plays, I'd rather have Kevin Schaefer right there to block as a tackle for the tight ends that aren't getting it done in the blocking aspect of it. So, it's unfortunate for the Bears. The only thing I'd say about the play call, I'd rather Jay be on the edge and give him the opportunity to run the ball in the end zone like what he did against the Detroit Lions.
Hold on, but like we said, when you take a quarterback and you put him out, then you take away half the field.
Well, I'll tell you what, didn't stop Steve Young.
Steve Young played in that park, but Jay Cutler's no Steve Young.
Steve Young ran the 208. 208 is a pass. Outside receiver runs a curl. Inside slot receiver runs to the flat. Jerry Rice is in the Hall of Fame, and he's got a lot of touchdowns.
And only 208 out there must be the interstate now.
Look, man, you are the former quarterback here, because what's going to happen right now is the Jay Cutler haters, the Kyle Orton lovers, are going to pile on now, and some of it deservedly so. Tell us, are those people just kind of player hating, or those of us who were in Jay's camp and are now going, huh? This is the franchise, and we're confused. To either talk me off the tell what the heck is going on here. Is he that bad? Is it a combination of everything?
You want to know what's
going on? You're going to push me. Because I will. I'm going to do a swan dive right here.
That was easy.
Well, take all the sharp objects and put them away for right now. I think he's a talented quarterback. I think tonight was a combination of both. It was poor decision-making, but you want to know what? Some guys didn't help him out either on the route running. Jay Cutler has to play better. This was his game to do well. San Francisco was 4th against stopping the run. Jay Cutler had to take over this game, and he did not do it. And, yeah, any quarterback, no matter how talented you are, you start throwing picks like that, and it gets in your head, this guy needs to get his confidence back a little bit, and Ron Turner needs to help him out.
It wasn't only the interceptions. There were, it's sometimes the things that you don't do that you should do. Like, a short pass out into the flat that's either overthrown, like, you know, you had Forte coming out of the backfield, puts one up over his head. Those things start to add up as well, and that's what costs you first downs, along with everything else that you've been doing
those
wrong.
plays should establish a rhythm as well. I mean, those little short passes should be completions. You know, those should be sure bets, but once you start making mistakes like that, you're in trouble.
Deep, those passes, not high percentage passes.
That's where I would be critical of Jay, because it doesn't matter how talented you are as a player, everybody needs to be coached. I mean, his footwork is horrific at times. That's why you see high throws, stuff like that. You want to know what? Ron Turner and Pep Hamilton need to get in his grill. This is unacceptable, because it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you don't go back to the fundamentals and the techniques of good footwork and delivering the football correctly, that's what's going to happen. You're going to be inaccurate. You're going to start falling into bad habits, and that's what Jay is in right now. He's in some bad habits.
And now let me, on this exact show, when he is thrown off his back foot and completed an amazing pass, we've been like, wow, look at that. So you can't, you know, he either has to fix the mechanics all the time. We can't pick and choose the times he's going to throw off his back foot.
As they always like to say, it's not a perfect science. If you take a look at somebody like Brett Favre, Brett does the same things, and you know his footwork sometimes is out of control, all that, but he gets the job done. Jay's problem is when you start to rely on that every time out, that's when you run into a problem, and that's what he's doing right now.
And that's the thing is, let's say if Jay makes a great play, all the coaches say, "Well, that's uncoachable. You can't teach that," and that's how it's kind of let go. Those bad habits start to slide in, but it's on every play. You see him stepping up in the pocket, throwing off the wrong foot. Like, look at Johnny Knox, wide open on an in cut. It's just
short hops him.
It's short hops him, but you want proper mechanics from the first quarterback camp I ever went to. Right hand, right foot. Jay didn't do it. He threw off his left foot. That is inexcusable.
You're right. You can't coach it, too. You wouldn't want to coach some of that stuff.
How about the penalties, guys? 10 penlities for 75 yards.
That's
everybody was guilty today.
And that's you look at even in that last drive, you got Williams coming up over the top on a play that is long over, and he comes and does a swan dive. You got to use your brain out there.
Right.
There's certain things you're going to get called. It's like the holding on Garza. That's one of those things where you look at it and you go, what, he has his hand in the framework. That's a call that sometimes officials are going to make, even though they probably shouldn't. But to do just stupid things, when you see them happening out there time after time.
How about the delay of game? Delay of game almost cost him 3 points before the half.
And that, my friend, is not only on the field, that's also upstairs. And that's where they have to get that squared away.
Take a look at the first half. You had the 2 turnovers there in the first half, 2 3-and-outs, 6 penalties for 40 yards. Thankfully, Robbie Gould bailed them out, knocked through that 50-yarder to make this beautiful ball game 7-3 at recess. I kept thinking that a lot of Jay Cutler's problems this year is because he fell behind and he felt like he had to win the ball game on his own. He didn't have to do that today.
No.
There was never more than a 1-score ball game.
If he wouldn't have gotten in the way, the defense would have won it for him.
Yeah.
That's the way it turns out. And I shouldn't just say him. As we talked about before, that some of those turnovers, there's some other guys with some ink on their hands right about now. They've got to dust for the prince because there's some other guys that were responsible too, namely Devin Hester. Devin had a terrible game tonight.
What'd you think of the O-line's performance today?
No.
They did well on screen passes. That's the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're supposed to let the guy through in a screen pass.
No run game. Absolutely none. Consistent.
And you know what? And some of that, this was a game where you start to look at it and you say, well, okay, are the guys getting off the line of scrimmage? They were at times. Matt Forte does not have a second gear. We saw that on one of the pass plays where if he had that second gear that we saw last year, he'd have been gone. But I think he ran for 37 yards on the play. But ordinarily, last year he'd have taken off.
Like he's dancing in the backfield a little bit too, instead of just being explosive and hitting the holes. And that is really frustrating. They just can't really get a rhythm going. And I don't really know what the problem is. Like I said, they need to throw out that pulling the guard stuff, start running off the tackle a little bit more, and getting them out to the edge and run some more plays where it's like an extension of the run with the pass.
I look at that, that G play where you pull the guard and let him lead block, and the back runs off of that. San Francisco ran it tonight, number 64. I can't remember the guy's name.
64
but number 64 for San Francisco pulled out. He's an offensive guard. He took 2 days to get to the hole, and they still got 8 yards on the play.
Yeah, there was a sundial on that one. And Marcus Harrison. Marcus Harrison didn't play that one well. If the gap is open, you close it down. Marcus, it was a 30-yard run.
Slam it.
By Frank Gore, and Marcus Harrison just didn't play it correctly.
It's a gap control defense, so everybody is accounted for your gap, and if you're not there, then it's going to be a gash.
I'll tell you where there's a gap. It's in the snapping of the football to Jay Cutler. Did you notice in the second half? Whether it's a shotgun, I mean, the guy's constantly picking it up off the turf. What's going on there?
It's like the easiest thing to do, isn't it?
It's a really easy thing. I mean, it's like...
do you need to bring Olin in here?
No, I don't think you want to do that. But you know what I'm saying? It's just in a certain spot on your leg every time you snap the ball. And snap it up easy. Just pop it up. Because if it's high, you can still see it and catch it, right?
Yeah. But
if it's low, it's tough.
No, he's been doing it for 10 years. Like, what is the problem?
But you know what? This team has never really enjoyed being in the shotgun until now they really started employing it.
The only thing I'll say in Olin's defense, and at first it should never happen. Quarterback-center exchange, whether it's in the shotgun, whether it's under the center, it should never happen. But when a defense brings up an A-gap blitzer, Olin now has to make what we call a reach block, or he's got to make a squeeze call to bring the guard down to help him out. It's been an issue for the Bears. Now it's 2 games that's happened, and it's unfortunate because that was a key situation there. Well,
and as we always talk about, whatever you see and it's working against you, you're going to see it again until you stop it.
All right, coming up, we're going to have the highlights. Yes, we'll call them highlights or moving pictures or whatever you want to call it. Pour yourself another beverage. We're going to vent here. We got over 800 of you have already emailed the show. Here is the poll question tonight. What's the major reason why Jay Cutler leads the National Football League with 17 INTs? A, poor decision making. Check. Bad mechanics. Check. Receivers not helping him out. Check. No protection from the offensive line. At times. At times. He's okay tonight. Or E, predictable play calling. Check. Log on to CSNChicago.com. Vote away. Send us your thoughts on tonight's game. We'll have the results coming up later in the show. Francisco, let's show. Vernon Davis took shots at the Bears D-line this week. Actually said Walle's the only one he respects. Agulia lets the Niners tight end know what he thought about that smack. Bears showing some emotion before the game. Actually, the D showed emotion most of the night. First quarter, Niners in the red zone. Third down, Alex Smith looking to pass. Tommy Harris gets a hold of him and brings him down. 91 played pretty well tonight.
Yeah, 91 had a fantastic game, putting pressure and stopping the run game. That was big for Tommy Harris to rebound from last week.
Jim, that looks like your drives. Joe Nedney hooking one right there. Second quarter, Bears on the doorstep. First and goal from the 4, Forte up the gut. Yeah, that doesn't usually work. Hey, let's try it again. Second and goal, Forte. Obviously now, third and goal, you're going to throw it, right? Cutler looking for a lot of red. What the heck happened here, Jim?
Brady Franklin looked open for the 49ers. It was a completion by Jay Cutler, but poor decision. Can't happen. Throw it away. Let the Bears at least get 3 points on the drive.
The old nose tackle pick there. Ensuing drive for the 49ers. Alex Smith looking deep for Michael Crabtree, but Zach Bowman comes back, makes a nice play on the ball there for the pick. Bears with the rock now. And at least the screenplay worked tonight. Tossed by Cutler to Forte, gets some blocks. Makes a nice move there, but this is what Jiggs was talking about. No afterburners right there. Gets caught, gain of 37 yards. Very next play. Cutler looking down the field for number 23. Became a daddy this week. Terrell Brown cuts across as Hester slipped. And Cutler, who got absolutely creamed on the play. Earhold came back to make the tackle there after a 51-yard return. Take another look here. Hester slipping.
Just got to keep your feet. I don't know if it's his ankle that's bothering him. That's happened twice on 2 comeback routes where he has to come back down his stem to the outside.
All it took was this one play. Frank Gore to the zone, 14 yards, untouched, 7-zip San Fran. Bears work the ball down the field late. Robbie Gould, after the delay of game, got it. So it's Bears down by 4 at the break. Third quarter. Here come the Bears. 3rd and 4. Cutler looking to pass. Intercepted by the law firm of Deshaun Goldson. That's his 3rd pick of the night. 3rd INT game this season. What happened here?
Another play, Devin Hester. It's man coverage. Got to keep on running. It looked like he got picked by the official. Doesn't matter. Just run him over is what needs to happen.
This is where you thought the game turned around. Bears on 4th and 1. Stop Alex Smith on the keeper. Bears D coming to play. Little screen pass here to Forte. He's got blockers, 31 yards on the play. 38-yard field goal for Robbie Gould. Bears within a point. We go to the fourth quarter. Bears driving again. Third down. Bad snap to Cutler. Finally gets it. Intercepted by Mark Roman. 27 yards in the Bears territory. Cutler wanted pass interference there, but as you pointed out, Davis.
I'll tell you what, that's a 6'7", 270-pound tight end. Can't be pushed over and play that soft versus a safety on that play.
Niners taking advantage. Direct snap to Gore. Breaks free down the sideline. Charles Tillman comes from behind and knocks the ball free, but ball. Niners recover it. That would lead to a Nedney field goal. So it's 10-6. Cutler looking to make up for a bad game with a game-winning drive. 2nd and 20. Finds Devin Hester for 10 yards. Next play, Cutler. Bad snap. Over the middle. We got Hankies. We had Hankies almost on every play, it seemed like, in this game. Later, 2nd and 10. Cutler, 9-yard pass to Hester. Then we've got a Devin Aroma-Shadu sighting on the sideline with 13 ticks to go. Incomplete pass, Cutler, 8 seconds to go. Steps up, avoids the rush, looking for his BFF. Michael Lewis, that's pick number 5. The clock runs out. Bears lose an ugly one, 10-6 as your final. So you say of the 5 interceptions, you definitely put the first and the last on Jay. As you break down his play, can he improve? What is going on here with Jay?
Well, I think, there's a lot of room for improvement for Jay Cutler. His mechanics in throwing the football, his footwork, which is the base of any quarterback in the NFL. You have to throw on balance. Your feet need to be in balance to deliver the football. I think all year long, he's been getting away with shoddy mechanics, and that's what's led to a lot of turnovers. It's led to a lot of inaccurate throws. It's hung his receivers out to dry, and clearly, on the most important drives in a ball game, it has failed him in terms of his decision-making in turnovers, because he's not placing the ball where he needs to place it on certain throws.
You've been on teams before where, you're at this point of the season, 7 ball games to go, does not look like the postseason is in the cards for you. What are you going to learn about this team the last 7 games?
Well, I think obviously the stove is only going to heat up for Ron Turner. This team has to be competitive, and it's going to have to show, that it doesn't have to make a lot of moves in the offseason. So it's going to put the onus on a lot of players, a lot of coaches whose jobs are going to be on the line, in my opinion. If they're not competitive, then changes will be made for the Chicago Bears. But they need to play hard these last 7 weeks to see if they have a job.
Bears fall 10-6. They're now 4-5 on the year. Time for another break here in Bears Postgame Live. We'll have lots more player reaction around the corner. Kip Lewis, he'll standing by. He'll have player reaction, and John Moon Mullen will also join us. Log on to csnchicago.com every Tuesday at 4 for your chance to chat with a Bears player. This week it's Caleb Haney. So log on and ask the Bears backup quarterback.
He's the most popular man in Chicago right now.
He is tonight. That's every Tuesday at 4 o'clock on csnchicago.com. Indiana. Bears should take a page out of the George Costanza book and do the opposite of everything they think they should do. Everybody's a comedian tonight.
Is there something wrong with that?
Is that wrong?
Is
5 interceptions wrong? It's an offense about nothing. This one comes in here. This is Luke Kelly from Streeter. He says, Orton 4 interceptions, Cutler 17. You do the math. I heard there would be no math in this show. Cutler from Pro Bowl to toilet bowl. That's Brett in Chicago. Very simple solution to the red zone offensive problems, bootleg. But is that too scaled back for the Turner offense? Does Lovey even look like he wants to be a coach? Get excited or mad, anything. Show some emotion. That's John in Oswego. I think a lot of people talk about the emotion part of it, Jigs. You talked about it with Mike on the morning show this week. Lovey is what he is. I mean, there's other guys that come to mind, like his mentor, Tony Dungy, who didn't show much on the sidelines. Bill Belichick didn't show much. But you're not going to get that emotion out of him.
No, I mean, that's his personality. If you do something that's not, inside your personality, then you come off as a phony. And that doesn't sell well either, because people on that sideline look at you and go, did you see what that clown just did? So, no, just be yourself. I mean, that's not the important thing. The important thing is, what is your team doing? Is your team being effective out there? Defense tonight, nice job. Offense, not so much. And you know what? This is not the first time that's happened. So at some point or another, somebody inside the coaching ranks has to address that, and that has to change.
Yes, well, subtle messages tonight. How about Mike Singletary when Joe Nedney missed that field goal?
That's right.
Can't have it. Can't win that way. Just
Can't
like he
have
said,
it. Won't have
you
it.
could see it right on the sideline. Just sending his team a subtle message. I don't think that's really Lovie Smith, because Joe Nedney knew he had to make it. But hey, Mike Singletary, he'd be remiss if he didn't address it. That's how he is as a head coach, and that's just his style.
Because some things are left up to interpretation, and if you leave things up for interpretation to football players, normally I think their natural instinct is then to take advantage of it. And if they think that maybe, you're not going to jump their case or whatever, then you got a problem.
We got several problems here. What's going on in the red zone? What would you change? I mean, at that goal line situation there, we had 1st and goal from the 3. We saw the 2 straight plays with Forte. B. Ron Turner, take the headset. Call a play for me, boys. What do you got?
Well, especially like I mentioned the 208 play, or like you said, the bootlegs. They've hit Greg Olsen repeatedly on the bootlegs in the back of the end zone. It is, granted, it does cut the field down in half, but it puts pressure on the defense. They either have to attack Jay Cutler or they have to fall back in coverage. And it would give Jay Cutler an option, at least for
you try to sweat them a little bit. You get out there and they got to make a decision. One of the things that they ran on that goal line is something I really like, and that's that lead with the fullback lead. Yes. I like that play a lot. The thing that you have to do is up front, you have to get your feet out of the way, because the back can't jump over the top if your feet are laying in front of them. So that's when it's on the offensive line probably. And frankly, Matt Forte's got to get up and elevate a little bit as well. Get that extra yard.
But it comes down to creativity also. Do you still think that they're creative in offense when they get to the red zone?
No, they're not. They are a predictable football
they're so
team
predictable,
offensively.
so it doesn't really matter what they run.
And they gave us a little motion tonight, though.
We did, yeah. We saw some motion.
I was stunned. I saw the tight end go across the formation like, wow, look at that.
So the answer to Troy Aikman's question last week, they also play high school football on Thursday nights as well. Hey, Earl Bennett was targeted 5 times tonight, 3 catches, 27 yards, and an interview with our Kip Lewis just moments ago.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Earl Bennett. How do you explain this performance tonight?
I mean, it was tough. They came out playing hard. We didn't execute as we should have, and they just won a game. This one hurt, but just got to get back to work.
Jay throws those 5 interceptions. Is that almost impossible to overcome in this league at this point in time?
No, it's not impossible. I mean, Jay is a great competitor. I'm pretty sure he'll bounce back, and we'll be ready to go. He's the leader of this team, so we just, got to rally behind him.
Last week, or Sunday, I guess I should say, that the defense struggled. They kind of turned it around in this game. You guys struggled. How does this team get the confidence back? Because, you guys have played at points very well, but it seems not to go together, offense and defense at the same time.
Yeah, we just got to get everybody on the same boat. I mean, everybody got to buy in. As I mentioned last week, look at yourself as an individual, see what you can do to get better, and just come out and help the team. That's what's going to help us out.
Did they do anything defensively maybe that you guys didn't expect that threw you off a little bit in this game at all?
No, they pretty much did everything we expected, and, we're just going to execute on the plays.
It's kind of a tough, I know you guys want to get back in this game tonight and sort of put Sunday's loss to Arizona. Now is it even tougher because now you've got a lot of time before you get back out on the field?
Yeah, it's tough, but, we just got to mentally prepare ourselves for Philly and just watch game film and just get ready. We got to put this one behind us. Although we on a 2-game losing streak, we just got to, somehow find that swag and get that win on the street back.
Earl, appreciate your time. Guys, Earl Bennett, let's go back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you very much. We got a lot of emails flying in right now. Guys, tell me it's the O-line or Ron Turner creating these offensive woes. It's not, Jay, is it?
It's a collective effort right now. I mean, you look at the penalties, the lack of running the football. Sure, you can place that on the offensive line. Bad snaps, you can place that on the offensive line. Jay's poor decision-making That's part of his problem.
Receivers slipping down and falling, not fighting for the ball.
Receivers, breaking off routes.
That was a collective effort tonight.
So, I will admit, you guys are hilarious tonight. Somebody texted in, I'd rather watch Soriano drop fly balls. It's been an ugly year in Chicago sports, and we were looking to the Bears to brighten things up after the two baseball teams had less than exciting summers.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. And looks like this one is over, as some announcer would say. Take a look at the last 5 games for the Bears. Just one victory in those games. Look at the points per game, 16 points. They're allowing 24.6 total yards. They actually have more total yards.
Yeah, but see, the difference is the, you know, the interceptions, the fumbles, that kind of thing. The old saying is never confuse activity with accomplishment. The 357 yards is activity. The accomplishment is putting something in the end zone. That's what they haven't been able to do. They've been running up and down the field.
So where do we go from here? I asked Jim the question, 7 ball games to go, Jigs, and as you look at it, you say you got to run the table. You've got Philly and Minnesota right off the bat on the horizon. That doesn't look great. What are you gonna look for these last 7 ball games?
The objective is this. When I said you got to keep playing, you do have to keep up the effort.
Yeah, I mean,
and increase the effort. Whether or not you're going to win all those games, who's to tell? I don't think you can. I'm just being perfectly honest with you. But the one thing you want to do is every week you want to improve. And that's why everybody, 2 times a month picks up a paycheck, because you're out there to work and to work at your job and to win football games. And if you're not winning football games and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then like I said before, and I said it on several different occasions, they will find somebody else to do it. At some point or another, somebody else is going to be in that uniform. That's the way the business goes.
Yeah. Exactly right. I mean, they're looking at you right now, and they're going to see how you're going to deal with this adversity right now. You're just going to lay it down, you're just going to quit, or you're just going to continue to fight and play. And trust me, the coaches are definitely looking, and everyone is looking on the management side.
Because you can't keep rewarding, failed efforts, and that's what you kind of get that feeling that that's what's happening now, and you can't do it.
Well, I think like anything else, you're going to start to see some young players play. I think Gaines Adams. He's going to be in the lineup, I think, quite substantially the rest of the season.
They gave up a second rounder. I'd like to see him,
All the players. I think when you look at the young draft picks, get them in there, because like Jig said, if veteran players are going to make those mistakes, we might as well take our lumps with young players who we know we drafted and see what we have for next year. Might not happen next week, but you got to believe as the weeks start to go on, younger players are going to be in the lineup.
What did you think of Tommy Harris's play? I mean, I thought, probably his best game.
Yeah, the whole he had a good ball game. He had a sack in this game. He had a tackle for a loss, and I'm not sure how many tackles he had in total.
Three in all.
But here's the thing: that whole defensive front, I think, was playing exceptional football tonight. And when you look at the numbers, you know what? The San Francisco 49ers ran 53 plays offensively tonight. Just 53 plays, and it's about 200 and some odd yards of total offense for San Francisco. That's one heck of a defensive effort. And even when they kept getting thrown back out there because of interceptions, they finally get the ball back to you. Boom, you have your opportunity. It's 3 and out, or interception, returned back to the 30-yard line, and they've got to fight like mad to keep San Francisco out of the end zone. They were put in a tough spot tonight, and I really thought that they answered the bell.
You know what I haven't seen much of, though, is our special teams. Like, what happened with the X Factor, with Devin Hester with special teams? He was able to break a lot of them a few years back, and that would change the course and the dynamics of the football game. Why is that so non-existent right now?
I think it's been an Achilles heel for the Bears, because we actually brought up the statistics while Jiggs and I were in the green room. The Bears, over the past 2 years, they've had 6 either special teams touchdowns or defensive touchdowns that has affected outcomes of games. This year, the Bears have 2 of those plays. A Johnny Knox return, and I think there was a defensive touchdown earlier in the year. That was an X factor that Jerry's talking about.
Let's look at it this way. From the standpoint of Devin Hester, you have a guy, and you heard them saying on the broadcast tonight that the fear factor in the NFL, the fear factor is very high with Devin Hester because of his ability on returns more than anything else. So you've got a guy now, he's playing receiver. He said, okay, we don't want him doing kickoff returns, so we'll just keep him on punt returns. My question to you is, because you're a return man, how much of a burden is it to do kickoff returns, punt returns, and play wide receiver?
I think it depends on who you are, but for me, it was never a burden. Like, I was able to, mix both of those together and try to play, fairly well. But with Devin, it just seems like he came to the league and there wasn't like a special position for him. They tried him out at defensive back, and that didn't really work. And then they said, you know what, you're dynamic at returning the ball, especially when the ball's in your hands. You can do certain things with it. So we want to see what you can do as a wide receiver.
Like break league records and stuff like that.
Exactly. But
okay, we don't want you to do that.
but Devin isn't really a wide receiver right now. He's still learning the position, and he is a return man. Like, that's what Devin is. He's that X factor. And I think that they just have to figure out a way to boost it up on special teams, because they've done such a great job, and Toba's done an excellent job too. And they've always been solid, but it just seems like they aren't giving Devin, that extra step, to be successful.
And we've seen the guys directional kick away from Devin. We see a lot of this with Devin, so obviously they're hurting him in that area. And the other thing, when you take a look at it too, is with him finishing routes, how much of Jay's problems now are because of Devin Hester and Earl and Johnny learning on the job and not knowing how to run the correct routes and to get open?
Well, yeah, I think that, there's always going to be a learning process. But to me, Devin Hester is beyond that. I mean, he's actually played pretty well up to the games to this point today. Today was his worst game of the year at wide receiver. Poor routes, not coming down to stems, basics for wide receivers.
Hey, Kip Lewis is with Danielle Manning. Take it away.
All right, thanks, guys. I am with Danielle Manning and Tommy Harris coming up behind him. First of all, let's start with you. The changes in the secondary, Al Afalava, Kevin Payne, did that affect you guys at all in this game? Because obviously defensively you guys played very well.
No. Guys, just different faces, but guys came in and knew their role, knew what we were expecting out of this game, knew what we had to get, and guys stepped up.
You guys took last week's loss to heart. I mean, you guys wanted to step up. Are you proud at least of the way you guys played defensively in this game?
Yeah, and nay, because we wanted more turnovers, and that's what would have kept us ahead of this team. And unfortunately we couldn't get those. Some balls got loose. We just couldn't get to them. But for the most part, we did play great on defense.
You feel now that maybe could be the turning point for this defense, especially after what happened in the Cincinnati game, the Arizona game?
This is definitely a building block. And from here, now we're getting back to that stage where we have to finish. We started believing. We got the belief part down. Now we just got to finish.
I know Jay Cutler addressed you guys after this game with his 5 interceptions. Can you sort of share what he said and what that meant to you guys?
He basically just apologizing, and you don't never want to tell Jay not to keep that competitive edge that he wanted. The throws that he made, I mean, you can't really argue with that guy. Man, we're going to rally behind him, and that's what you have a defense for.
I know you guys were looking forward to getting back on the field in a short week this week. Now you guys get a little extra time off. Maybe is it good now that you get that a little extra time off for the weekend to sort of relax, get away from it for a few days?
That too, and just see what the injuries are about, see how severe the injuries are, and basically have a longer week to focus on Philadelphia.
Okay. Danielle, appreciate your time. Thank you very much, man. Come on in here, Tommy. I know this week for you was a big week for you. You talked to us Monday and Tuesday. You get your first sack of the year, and I know you wanted to not prove yourself, but you wanted to come out and have a good game. Are you happy as well with the way you guys played defensively?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Just like Danielle said, it's a building block for us. I felt like guys are playing harder. We're believing in the system, and I mean, this was a hard pill to swallow. A game so close like this. But with Jay, what they were saying about Jay in there, Jay did not have to apologize to us. That's our teammate, and what's the use of having teammates if you can't make a mistake? So guys are just rallying around him, and we get ready for Philadelphia and come back strong.
Do you guys still have the confidence? I mean, you guys, going back to training camp, everyone said, hey, we believe we have a Super Bowl caliber team. I know you talked about some of the disappointment and the criticism you guys have gotten, that you've gotten personally. Do you still feel like this team believes that they can get back in this and be a playoff contender?
Yeah, definitely, especially after tonight. And I believe that every team in the NFL were saying that they were going to make it to the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. But that's how it works out. You miss Urlacher, I go down with injuries, different guys get hurt. And on different teams, everybody's going through it. Some having more success than others, but we'll see how you finish. This league is all about the end of the year.
Did you guys think maybe you get more or a heavier dose of Frank Gore in this game, or did you sort of get the balance from them that maybe you thought you would get?
No, I knew they were going to come out just like, I mean, everybody's doing what Atlanta does or what Green Bay did against us. They're going to try to pass a little bit, open up the run game. If it's not there, then pass a little bit with dink and dunk us. But we knew that they were going to do that. And Frank Gore, he ran the ball just like he was, but we were shutting down the run a lot. They were going to the pass. We was getting to the pass rusher. And that's just what we have to do. You have to stop the run first in this league. And those two games, Cincinnati and Arizona, we did not do that.
For you personally, you sort of happy that this week's behind you and you can move on and maybe not have to talk about what transpired over the last week in that game in Arizona?
I'm not happy. I just understand that this league has come, football is kind of dying out in the NFL. It's becoming more of a soap opera. Everybody wants to hear a story about what's going wrong or what's the badness of it. But let's just stick back to football. Let's get to football. I understand things are like this is going to happen, but we just stick to football, and that's what I'm staying focused on.
From a team standpoint, not necessarily defensively, what's the key for you guys moving forward from here on out? Because it seems like the games you guys have lost, it's just been mistakes. It's almost like you guys have beaten yourselves. It's not like teams have really, taken it to you guys.
Yeah, we have beaten ourselves in a lot of ways, but no excuses, man. That's our biggest thing. We believe in our team. No excuses, just results, and that's what we're looking for, results. And what we want people to say about us, regardless of what our record shows at the end of the year, that these guys had pride, these guys fought. If you're going to come in and beat us, it's going to be the hardest win you ever get. So that's what we're playing for right now, and then hopefully that could carry us over into the playoffs.
Tommy, appreciate your time. Danielle, appreciate your time. Guys, a really great effort by this Bears defense in the game. Unfortunately, the offense couldn't come out and help him out a little bit in this game, but of course these guys will be getting ready for Philadelphia as well. Let's go back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Kip. We'll get back to you in just a second. By the way, Tommy was fined $7,500 for his hit on Deuce Latui last week in that Arizona game when he was tossed out just 4 plays in. According to Vaughn McClure of the Tribune, he will not appeal that fine. He is owed $2.5 million roster bonus in June. That's the decision the Bears have to make with number 91. Before this game, Jerry Angelo addressed the media there at Candlestick Park in San Francisco and said every player is being evaluated, kind of the company line that we hear with Lovey all the time. Do you think he will get that roster bonus and be with this team next year, Jigs?
You know what, to be honest with you, based on what happened last week, no. I think what they're going to do is they're going to look at if they can find someone else to fill that spot for less money. That's what you do when you get in these kinds of situations. Unless Tommy comes back and in the next 7 games plays as well or better than he did tonight, they will make that move. But he's got to, it's all on him now. He's got to come in and play like the guy who's getting paid like he should be playing.
When we come back, I want to ask you about Jay Cutler's decision-making tonight on that last throw to Greg Olsen. Was there somebody else open that he should have found, and several other throws on this night? As we head to break, here's our U.S. Cellular poll question. What's the major reason why Jay leads the National Football League with 17 interceptions? Poor decision-making, bad mechanics, receivers not helping him out, no protection from the O-line, or predictable play calling? Go to csnchicago.com, vote away. We'll have the results coming up as we take you to midnight.
Now get 50% off all our hottest phones. There's the HTC Touch Pro.
Zuma and CSN Moon Mullen. You can't hit Zoom right now because his BlackBerry's running out of juice. So we're How many tweets do you think you throw out there?
A lot, especially on game day. I'm really.
Did you ever think you get that much into this thing?
I really didn't at first, but
you love it though.
The fans want it.
The fans want it.
I'm giving it to them. That's all I'm doing.
I will mind it's the devil's workshop.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the situations with Jay Cutler. This is from Jim in Tinley Park. He says, Olsen was the only option. Jay, look at the tape. Bennett was open. We saw this a few times.
Yeah, you could, well, his 2 choices were, well, think of Brett Favre and how he threw that historic touchdown pass to Greg Lewis early in the season. That's against the 49ers, no less. has to be high in the back of the end zone. That was his only option for Greg Olsen. He could have thrown it higher on that play where the defensive back would have had a more difficult time to intercept it, or it's got to be low because Earl Bennett was coming right open up in front of the goal line. Has to be thrown low down by the goal line so the defender can't get it there. He did have 2 options. Jay, again, just wasn't accurate with the football.
Rizzo checks in from Evanston. We should just kick field goals when we get to the red zone since we can't run or throw it in. You brought up the point now, Zoom. How do we rebuild this team? All right. Look, I'm with you, Jigs. You're going to play out the final 7 games. We'll see how it happens. These guys are professionals, and hopefully they will. Again, through the first 9 games, they picked and chose their moments to show up. So
it's safe to say you need offensive line help. I think it's safe to say that you probably need to look at your running back situation and get some more help at that spot. You know, on the defensive side, the safety situation has not defined itself to anybody's satisfaction. And frankly, you probably need to look at the cornerback situation and linebacker, because you're going to need to. We've seen how many linebackers you can go through this year. And then tonight, Nick Roach gets nicked up a little bit in the game, no pun intended. And then finally he came back after he caught his breath and was able to come back into the game and play. But you can imagine you have him out. Now you're down, you know, from the backup guys are down and out, and you got to go with guys who you never thought were going to be playing.
Nathan Vasher playing safety too.
Right.
Like, what do you think about that? What do you think about that situation?
not good.
Right.
It might have been better than the Josh Bullock's situation because he got in the game. Jump on the football. How about the fumble? Peanut Tillman, good job popping the ball. What does Josh Bullock's try to do? Tries to scoop it up with 2 hands, just jump on it, lay on the football, and Frank Gore kind of left him with his jock on the field with a couple jukes out there.
Break down.
So
pull your neck.
Yeah, safety is an issue that the Bears
I
have
should have asked you the areas you wouldn't rebuild on the team.
Okay.
That might have been a shorter list. Matt Forte with career highs in receptions, 8, and receiving yards, 120. And he addressed the media a short time ago, beginning with the Bears' issues in the red zone.
Yeah, it's a lot of football to go, and just got to get better. I mean, we got to score points when we're in the red zone. You know, we score points in the red zone, we probably win that game.
Your thoughts on Jay? I mean, he was out there trying to do a lot of things and make things happen, but it just didn't break the way he needed it to.
I mean, he's a quarterback. Sometimes the interceptions get thrown. I mean, he's out there trying to make plays. You know, at least he's out there trying his best.
Matt, Lovie preaches about optimism all the time. Does it get harder, though, to be optimistic as the games go by?
If you let yourself not be optimistic, but you know, I got faith in my team. I got faith in my teammates. So I'm optimistic all the time.
You guys at least had a chance at the end of the game in spite of everything that happened out there. I mean, is that something?
We had a lot of chances. I mean, we was in the red zone a few times, and I mean, we were driving the ball. We just can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot.
Penalties part of that, shooting in the foot?
Penalties and turn the ball over, and I mean, they both go hand in hand, yeah.
Why do you think that? So here's a look at Matt's night as far as receiving. 5 in the first half, 3 snags in the second. A lot of this via the screen. Now, you know, you get this on tape. When you've got an offensive line that is somewhat porous and you've got a defensive line getting pressure, the screen is very effective. But we get this on tape. The Eagles are going to look at it. The Vikings are going to look at it. Do you think you can pull off the screen on a regular basis?
Well, yeah, you get in those situations. I mean, you know, this stuff works week to week. Because defensive linemen sometimes, you know, it takes a little while for things to click in when you get in the game and they realize they think they've really got a great pass rush going, and then they realize you're throwing the screen pass on them. It's beautiful. But, you know, you can keep doing those things. As long as you have a team that's got a ferocious pass rush, you can screen them, you can, run draw plays on them. That's the regular stuff that you go to.
How about the 49ers today? Jimmy Ray, their offensive coordinator, dialed up 3 draws in a row for plus 10, plus 11, plus 13. So you can get in a trend as an offensive coordinator, and if you know what downs your opponent is blitzing on, screens, draws, quick draws, lead draws, those are all good to attack a defensive line that's bringing it and pinning their ears back a little bit.
I think it was a good sign that the defense responded this week under the fire of how they played against Arizona just a few days ago, where they allowed them to score on 6 straight possessions, 8 for 8 on third downs. But let's talk about the offensive coordinator, Ron Turner. I know you've been a fan of his. and have supported him, what grade would you give him with this offense and Jay this year to this point?
Well, I think right now you can't say it's very high, because I think Jerry Angelo, the general manager, touched on it. When you have players that you've brought on board that now have been benched, like Frank Amiel, you paid him $14 million. How is he not still in the lineup? Is he not being taught correctly? Is his play not?
Can I ask you another question in addition to that? Whose fault is that?
That's right. That's what Jerry. I think that's what Jerry Angelo was.
But are you bringing in the right guys?
You're right. What comes first?
He was king. It's good to be king. I know,
but that's what Jerry's question is. Why aren't these players integrated into this offense and further along than what they are? Here, Ron Turner said we got to scale back the offense. Why do you have to scale back your offense? Are the players not, understanding what you're trying to communicate to them? Are they just not executing what they're communicating to them? If they have to scale back, it says that it is somewhat infantile in what they're trying to do.
Yeah, because they're not curing cancer out there. This is
right.
like it's not a complicated offense where you got motion people going here and there and guys switching assignments and everything else. It's pretty simple and straightforward. I don't understand.
It back.
I agree. I think it's going to continue to heat up on offense coordinator Ron Turner.
Coming up, we're going to hear from Wale. We'll hear from him and his thoughts of what happened before this ball game, and we'll hear from Ron Turner. Devin Hester is coming in, as you can see right now. For more on this game, go to csnchicago.com. That's where you can find John Moon Mullen. You can also see Jim's blog a little bit later tonight as he dissects the one and only Jay Cutler. Also, Zoom and myself will check in. I'll take your top 5 emails and respond to those, and we'll send you a little parting gift as well. We're coming back with more after this.
Chicagoans love their pizza. That's why you come to Giordano's, some for 30 years now. We use only the finest ingredients to make Giordano's famous stuffed pizza, our equally famous thin crust pizza. Plus salads, pastas, sandwiches, and more. Come on into Giordano's and celebrate 30 great years with us. Giordano's famous stuffed pizza. We made it good. You made it famous.
Introducing a sports car that's into whatever you're into. The all-new 2010 Mitsubishi Lancer Sportback. For a limited time, get the Lancer Sportback with 0% APR financing for 48 months.
Don't let the holiday season sneak up on you. Buy your tickets to Blue Man Group today. Buy 2 tickets for $99 through November 20th. Go to blueman.com/gift or call Ticketmaster.
Hey, what are we doing tonight? I don't know. How about Cosmic Bowling?
Lucas Lanes, 555-1200. Lucas Lanes, Laser Light Show. Lucas Lanes, 2 miles away. Ooh, whoa. Hi. 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 Wow. Lucas Lanes.
Ow! The most complete local info in the book at DexKnows.com and now on your mobile device. Dex knows.
If you're looking for the love of your life, you could try your luck on dating sites, or you could graduate to eHarmony. eHarmony isn't a dating site, it's a relationship site. We go beyond the pictures and paragraphs to match you on the deepest dimensions of compatibility, like intellect and values, things proven to be the foundation of successful long-term relationships. If you want love, don't settle for a dating site. Go to eHarmony.com. Get started today and review all your compatible matches absolutely free.
Tomorrow, don't miss a big-time Original Six showdown on the West Side as Patrick Kane and the Blackhawks battle the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's the Blackhawks and Maple Leafs tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Time now to check in with Bears superfan and in front of this show, Steve Dahl. Here's some of his tweets tonight. First one, new nickname for Cutler, Little Lotto, pick 5. Where can I get one of those Mike Singletary samurai stopwatches to hang around my neck? Then when you're done watching the game, you just hang yourself. Or, hey, Jigs, are you going to fall asleep in your chair and have them wheel you over to the monster set?
No, actually, I got a chair in the green room that I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah, you're there quite a bit. You start paying rent back
29 hours I'm working on today.
All right, well, Ron Turner is he's the target of a lot of your emails here on CSNChicago.com. He addressed the media a short time ago. Let's listen in.
You know, again, some of them he's counting on a guy to be at a certain spot, so he anticipates and throws it, and then, you know, so it's a combination of things, and it's, again, it's not one guy, it's all of us. It's all of us. You know, when we turn the ball over like that, and you know, don't do things we need to do.
How do you build the confidence in the red zone?
Well, we just go back to work. That's all I know. Go back to work, focus on the basics, and just try to get better.
Do you worry about him being gun shy now?
Pardon me?
Gun shy now, possibly?
Am I worried about that?
Yeah.
No, I'm not at all. I'm not worried about that. We go back, you know, I got to zero in on the things that he really has confidence in, which we do all the time anyway, that we all have confidence in as a team, and go to those things, and you know, and just get better.
You feel he was forcing things, right?
Pardon me?
You feel he was forcing things, trying to force things?
No, I didn't think he was. No, not really. I mean, obviously at the end now you got to make something happen, but no, I don't think he was at all. I thought he was making good decisions, went where he's supposed to go. No, I don't think he was trying to force the issue. I didn't feel that he was getting frustrated in trying to make something happen. I think he was running the offense, and I didn't feel that at all during the course of the game.
How frustrating were all the penalties and one on guards, a couple of them, and you had one at Chris Williams at the end there?
It was very frustrating. I mean, you know, and that's kind of what we've done this year. We continue to hurt ourselves, you know, with turnovers and with you know, penalties and things like that. That you know, that hurts us. We're you know, every game we do a lot of good things. We've got players making plays, and we need to quit hurting ourselves, and then the consistency will be where we want it. That's what we don't have right now.
Why'd you pull deep in the last drive? You want O'Neal bigger body for pass protection?
Yeah, we knew we were going to be throwing it, you know, obviously every down, and just decided to go with it.
Ron Turner just said he wasn't trying to force the throws.
Well, I think what he was touching on there, Jay's anticipation of expecting, like Ron was talking about, to be in a certain area at a certain time. That is anticipation from the quarterback. But
first interception, he's forcing it.
Yeah,
there were 4 red jerseys in front of him.
There's no excuse for the first interception. The last one, it's the last play of the game. Like I said, 3 of those, Jay was making the right decision. 2, 3 in the 4th interception, Jay went to the right guy. He really did. He went through his progression, hit or tried to go to the receiver, and the receiver either fell, ran into an official, gets knocked down by a safety. I mean, Jay was going to the right guy in coverage. But the bottom line is, like you said, when you have scoring opportunities, that's when you can't make those crucial mistakes.
Well, you know, you even go back in this game and look back at the interceptions and where they happened. Had you just converted field goals there, you'd have won the game.
Yep.
That's just how ridiculous this whole thing is.
Yeah.
Even, you know, you keep giving the football away, and this is what's going to happen to you. It's going to keep happening until you figure out a way to, you know, throw it to the right colored jerseys.
Greg Olsen was the last guy he intended to hit there in the back of the end zone with 8 seconds to go. Threw it to his wrong shoulder. He was targeted 10 times, 7 receptions, 75 yards. Greg addressed the media a short time ago.
I think we have pretty good mental toughness on our team that we're able to, you know, put the bad things behind us and keep moving forward. But, you know, for whatever reason, we, you know, moving the ball wasn't our issue. We just obviously couldn't score any points and touchdowns. So it's tough. We got to go back and look at the film and see exactly what happened.
Was that last pick going to you?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of scrambled and we were trying to make a play. It was the last play of the game, and, you know, just trying to make something out of nothing. So that one was kind of tough. But, you know, we were just trying to, you know, he was just trying to put the ball in the end zone for somebody knowing it was the last play. So we had our chances. We just came up a little short.
All right, time to check in with more emails. Hey, Color, the red zone doesn't mean to throw to the red jersey. I got one right here in front of me. Grossman was fired for picks. His starting season, 23 touchdowns, 20 picks. Cutler, 14 TDs, 17 picks. Orton, better career and season stats. Worst trade since Lou Brock. More Bears post-game live coming up after this. 10-6 is your final in this one. They're now 1-8 all-time at that lovely venue. They've been outscored 262-42 in those losses. One of the subplots of this game, Vernon Davis ripping the Bears defensive line earlier this week. He said the only guy he respected was that guy, number 93, Wale. Agulia had something to say to him before the game, and he had this to say to the media afterwards.
I go out here every day, regardless of who's on the other side of the ball, to play my best game and try to go out there and show pride in myself and my family. My last name, I don't care what another guy says. I could care less.
Where does it leave the team right now? I mean, what?
You know what? To be honest, it's not a good feeling. You know, you've lost 4 out of the last 5. It's not good. Is it over? Nope. You know, you got to look at the positive. You look at a team like Arizona last year went to the Super Bowl 9-7. So you know, you got to find little bits and bits of pieces of things to draw on. Right now, it's not good, but we've got to stay positive and get ready for a serious offense in Philly coming in next week Sunday.
Wally, Lovie preached optimism after the game. Does it get harder, though, as the losses go on?
No, you know what? You just got to take it one game at a time. Even when you're winning, you got to take it one game at a time. You know that this is a funny league. You know, I'm sure Sunday there's going to be some surprises come. Some people that you expect to win probably won't win. And you just keep trucking along.
Jay apologized to the defense after the game. Did he even need to do that?
No, he doesn't need to do that. Yeah, he's just a stand-up guy for that. But we win as a team, lose as a team. So I accept his apology, but he shouldn't have done it.
I don't know if you answered this one. What did you say to Davis when you went up to him before the game?
Nothing. You know, I didn't say too much. Just, you know, normal captain stuff. Guys, you know, stay healthy, stuff like that.
Yeah, stay healthy. Normal captain stuff. We believe that. All right, here's the Bears defense by the half. In the first half, they allowed the 7 points on 99 yards, 7 first downs. They had a couple of sacks in the second half. Did a nice job with the just the 5 first downs allowed and 71 rushing yards. Total yards allowed 117. Your thoughts on what this Bears defense did half to half against? It's not the greatest offense in the world, but a decent running back.
Yeah, they got some weapons, though. I mean, you know, you have to respect the fact, number one, Frank Gore has been an exceptional running back in this league, and Vernon Davis has come a long ways. I think either the leading tight end in terms of receptions or second in the NFC in receptions. So, you know, you have to respect that. 7 touchdowns on the season so far. They've got some wide receivers. Michael Crabtree is a guy that's on the rise. And Alex Smith, you know what? He finally, you know, he was the #1 pick overall, and everybody's been waiting for him to blossom. It still hadn't happened for him, so I can't say much positive about that. But anyway, they do have a couple of other guys who I think you would legitimately say are on the rise and some pretty good football players.
It's good to see them play like this, though, to come out and really establish themselves that, you know what, some adversity happened, you know, the week before, but they can come out, you know, and excel and take control of the game.
You know what I like is they didn't fall back into that whole, you know, woe is me, third down to third down to third down, and you see the third down conversions. That's something we haven't talked about yet today, which means that they did a pretty good job on it.
Devin Hester targeted 14 times, 7 catches for 48 yards. He addressed the media. Listen to 23.
Most part of the thing, we get out of the situation. We got 7 games left, and hopefully we win out. We might have a shot.
Is it frustrating, the failure in the red zone?
It is. I mean, hard as it is getting down there, you know, once you get down there, you want to achieve getting down there and put points on the board and get a touchdown at most, you know. Like I said, you know, we got to keep faith. That's the most important thing, to keep the faith.
Rather than the turnovers, the penalties, more of the same penalties we want today. How frustrating it is when you're moving the ball, but you just can't ultimately put the points on the board.
It's tough, man. Especially on big plays. Hit 25, 30 yards, and then turn around and do a penalty, the flag land on the ground. I mean, you gotta keep fighting.
Is it getting harder to remain optimistic?
You just gotta look at, you know, time is starting to winding down, and we just gotta eliminate the mistakes. You know, it's too far in the season where we making mistakes, especially on my part. I know I did some things today that I normally don't do. I just got to get better on my part.
Devin probably alluding to, well, at least one of the interceptions where he slipped trying to come back to the ball, and the other one that you pointed out.
Where Alex Smith is most comfortable. He's most comfortable in the shotgun. He sees the field better, makes better decisions from back there. And you know, the thing about him is he moves around pretty well. He's, you know, you look at him, he's a big kind of